All right, tonight on the program, the powerful, the animator, the Sven Stoffels is here, everybody. Creator, Butch Killigan, Americaman, new comic, Americaman.
New
IP, so much stuff. We're going to be talking about lots of different things that we kept accidentally talking about before the show. So when we get to
the show before the show,
we were doing a show before the show, and then when we get to it later in the show, we're going to go like, this fucking sucks. Why did we even bother? Who thought this was a good idea? But
why even get into this?
Why even talk about this? But when we were, I swear to God, when we were talking about it before the show, it rocked. It was actually,
you guys should have been there.
You should have been there. I should have hit stream, but unfortunately I couldn't because I hate you, the viewer. Fuck you.
Well, I'm happy to be here, guys.
It will have you guessing what's next and what could happen to these boys.
What will happen to these boys? Crazy to think about. All right, welcome everybody. I'm Jesse PS. This is Podawful. Happy to be here, of course. Thank you, Sven. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here.
Of course. Welcome everybody. We're live over at podawful.tv. We've got the live stream. We got the chat room going on. People are saying H2BH in the chat room. Someone says, I personally hate Sven. Actually, somebody says, okay.
Yeah, that's Mike Hunt, who's in my chat every week. So that's kind of an odd thing for him to say.
Okay, well then we accept that you say that and think that. Then, of course, what could happen to these boys?
Very
Somebody asked. N-word. Someone has thrown out the possibility. N-word. How is my goo doing? Everybody like my goo right now?
N-word. Now, before the show, we sort of agreed that we were not going to go really deep into any of the N. I know it's Black History Month, but no N-words, no K-words.
Right. Yeah, it is Black History Month. Whoa, the camera's like kind of off. What the fuck? I don't know what's going on here.
Really?
I asked Sven. I said to Sven. I said to Sven, maybe cut down on the N's, the F's, the K's. And one of the most shocking things that's ever happened to me, Sven said, what's a K? So
what's the K exactly?
I really would.
But I think I got it in one guess. You did basically immediately.
Yeah, there was no 20 questions. You fucking figured it out, man. And we're
one of my favorite words. We're figuring it all out.
Listen, we love it. We love all the words, but it's my Black History Month, and we will be talking about Black history on this program. Are you familiar with the cornrows?
I am familiar with that. Yeah.
Did you? This is crazy. Did you know that Black people now claim that their braids and their cornrows were actually secret maps on how to escape slavery?
Wait, excuse me? No, I have not heard that. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to that topic.
It fucking rules.
I'm ready to learn.
It's so
I'm ready to sit my ass down and listen.
Yes.
And learn about the cornrow.
Because the thing is, Sven, we would not even be here if it weren't for specifically Black trans women. Give it up, everybody.
Yes.
Imagine.
Round of applause for all the Black trans women out there.
Imagine.
We love you so much.
What would your life even be if some, and again, I'm not saying any of these words, but some FN, seed off his D. If that hadn't happened, you wouldn't be here. George Washington wouldn't be a chattering wooden skeleton in a grave somewhere spinning around.
Yeah, did you see Trevor Noah? One of the biggest ends ever to end.
Dang,
Trevor
man.
Noah,
This dude nailed it.
That guy. He was talking to I don't know even if we should go over that at all, but yeah, he had some points. It seems like the culture is shifting in many ways. Even the ends are sick of it all.
It's a vibe shift, man. Now, here's the thing. I saw the exact video you're talking about, like right before the show. Let me actually find that real quick because
I couldn't believe it.
I tweeted something out right before the show, and it was because I watched this video. Let's take a quick look at this.
Oh yeah.
Here.
They'll go to other
Yeah,
places.
this is insane. So if you don't remember, Trevor Noah, and you wouldn't remember this because, of course, you never fucking watched The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. Nobody watched the show.
The biggest astroturfed in history, in Black history. Nobody knew where this guy came from. He was shoved down our fucking necks. And I guess he's still out there.
You could tell too, like Jon Stewart, like you think what you will about the politics or whatever, but the Daily Show was like funny. It was fun to watch back in the day. And you could tell that Jon Stewart was like, really? This is my replacement. Oh, okay. Even he had to be like, interesting choice. So Trevor Noah stinks. He always stunk. Never funny. Tanked that show. They literally had to drag Jon Stewart's Jewish corpse out of retirement in order to try to revive
his little South African accent. He talks sort of like this. Fucking sucks.
Now that's the thing. He's South African, right? But he is
feigned intellectualism.
Isn't he? He's half white to some degree, right? I think he's mixed. Anyway,
the competent part, the semi-competent part.
Keep in mind, while you're watching this, that Trevor Noah is mixed. Okay, like he's part white. So this is a crazy clip. I really did not see this coming.
I found myself wondering, and this applies to America, and then maybe it'll go to other places in a different way because Finland ties in. Do you think that integration was the right move? Like, now,
of course, now he's talking to two black ladies. One, by the way, joining us via satellite. And you can tell instantly the lady sitting across from him is like, excuse me, are we really going there? Are you sure about where you're going with this one? But they hear him.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
This one, though, the one joining teleconferencely, she is fully on board. And I got to say, she also looks like she's mixed. So the completely dark black lady, she's like, hang on a second, are you sure? I want to go to the same schools. And then all of the half white people are like, I don't know. I feel like I should be ripped in half. I guess I don't know what the idea is. This guy.
All right. That's an interesting take.
Well, you could never be more integrated than being mixed. There's
that is pretty much, you're right.
That's the most.
The black one that's calling in is very educated. She has a lot of books.
Yeah.
And she agrees with it.
You can tell
they didn't want to get.
You can tell she's read the books because they're in color order, which is very important to these people, by the way. One day,
colors.
They're going to be stacking up people like this on shelves somewhere.
I'm separating two things because I know in America people are like, well, of course. I mean, there was racism and there was segregation, and I go, no. I'm separating them. Let's separate someone being oppressed and someone not being able to get a job and someone not being able to get a bank loan. Let's take all of those, the negative things away, because I'll put myself out personally and say, I think whether we're talking about gifted kids who are anomalous, let's say, to the norm, whether we are talking about and I mean anything that does not fit into a category. I think part of the reason Finland is able to do it is because, have you been to Finland?
It's very homogeneous.
I've been to Finland. You know who's in Finland? Finnish people. That's it.
By the way, they wish. There's a lot more Trevor Noahs showing up to Finland every day.
Yeah,
That's it.
One too many every day.
Yeah.
And because they're all Finnish, there's an idea of like, no, we all head in the same direction. We all know what our actions mean. And that's a really powerful thing I've learned in communicating with other people.
Yeah, it's like when you're all the same type of guy, you kind of get along better and things work in some sort of weird way. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's kind of weird.
If only somebody had been screaming that every single day for all of human history until 1963, I think. Maybe there'd be some way to figure it out. But anyway, the Finnish people taught him a lesson. And by the way, the reason they taught him the lesson is he showed up to Finland and they all went, oh God, we're finished.
Yeah. That's that. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm in a room with anyone where we start to tie together multiple things. So if I'm in a room with black people, already there's like an implicit trust because we know what certain actions, words, and vibes mean. And then you're in a room with another.
Vibe is important, by the way. That's like maybe the biggest on the list is vibe. Earlier, my wife told me that there had been a vibe shift, and I told her I was going to divorce her over that. The second you tell me that you're feeling vibes and there's something going on.
I think literally that we started off this very show with talking about a shift in vibes. I think that's the first thing we actually talked about.
Did we actually say those? I literally don't even remember.
I didn't think we said vibe shift, but yeah, very similar things were said.
Oh, okay, maybe. You know what? Actually,
there's a thing to be said.
Maybe he's right. Maybe.
Yeah, so stick with your wife. Your wife is correct.
The African. Already. Now, even if you shout at me, I know what your shout means. The same way an Italian knows what an Italian shout means. Yeah. Right? I know I'm prefacing it with a lot because it's a loaded question.
Yes.
But I would love to know if you think integration was the right solution, maybe. On the other side.
Imagine like trying to explain to somebody inside of McDonald's while they're having like, you know, a McFlurry or whatever hurled at their heads. Like, you don't understand. That's an African shout. If you were black too, you would get it. It's just an African shout.
Yeah, exactly.
So the apparently
it's like the way we misinterpret chimps showing their teeth. We think they're smiling at us, but it's actually the opposite. It's sort of similar to that.
Well, except for the chimp part.
That's a false equivalency that has nothing to do with the topic at hand. I understand that. It's just something that came to mind.
Something that's it's a Joe Rogan style chimp related thought experiment.
Yes, it's more like a Joe Rogan style chimp, like powerful tropical jungle animal.
Powerful white athletes are chimpanzees, and also
you know what America of civil rights.
Yeah, no, I don't. And I don't think it's actually that controversial when if you understand that.
Oh, really? Watch me say it. See what happens. Hey, there's gonna be a real vibe shift if Jared Taylor says it or something like that.
Yes, many of YouTube accounts have been lost.
Which we're about
suggesting it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Which is one of the topics.
And integration weren't the only options. Like those are. Within those two options, it may seem like integration is the more progressive. Like, of course, we don't want segregation. But again, when you're being integrated into institutions, into a culture, that's a supremacist culture. That's a culture.
Oh, that's why it's different when they do it. Okay, now I get it. I didn't realize it was. Okay, well, this makes sense now to me. So I fully understand at this point. It was a supremacist culture. So yeah, I saw
they don't want to be integrated, they don't want to be segregated. So basically what they want is they want Gibbs, they want it all. They want it all. They don't want to get integrated, they don't want to get segregated. Now I think of course the solution is for the great African empire to become like a Wakanda-esque state. And I think they can do it. And we need to reinvigorate the hashtag Blackset. They need to go back to the home country, and this time around it's all going to work out. That's what I believe.
All we need is them as much adamantium as possible, and they'll finally be okay. I saw that clip, and it just got my brain work. You know, I feel fucking bad. I legitimately, I was thinking it's Black History Month. Seriously, I watched that clip, and I'm like, you know, they got dragged to America against their will, black people. So I tweeted this out. I said, I'm honestly really sorry we brought over black people and made them slaves. Shouldn't have done that. Wish we could go back and undo it. Hashtag Black History Month. And I think for that, I'm a pretty brave guy.
A very heartwarming message.
Yes. And I want black people to know you are safe here at Podawful. Now, when I say here, non-integratedly here, obviously, like spiritually, you are safe here. Physically, no. Yeah. Physically,
no, it's not like, and it's all, you're not allowed in the Discord servers and stuff like that. Of course,
we've got one. Like, we've got one already. We're full. We got one called. His name's Greg. They call him Greg, and that's about it. You know, we really don't need. Oh, we have Lisa as well. We have one guy, one girl. It's sort of a Noah's Ark style situation over on the Discord, and we really, we're good beyond that, I would say. But
Yeah.
anyway, happy Black History Month, everybody. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, man, it's exciting times.
So, Sven, you lost your YouTube channel. I happened to have been watching live your channel when it happened. Tell people exactly what happened, what went down, because this sucks. And you know, the whole reason I wanted you to come on the show because I wanted to help you and get people to go subscribe to you again. So explain it to the folks.
Yeah, thank you so much. You've been really helpful and giving me some tips in how to preserve some of the content. I think I haven't really completely checked, but it seems like most of the stuff has been recovered. So not all has been lost.
I've gone through this so many times myself.
I know. If anyone knows his shit when it comes to like cancellation events, it's Jesse right here. So yeah, thank you for your help there, obviously. And I got finally got. It's kind of surprising, but usually I had like a tactic going. And I will admit I was caught slipping a little bit because what I used to do is I would do my live stream and then immediately I would delete it and all that stuff. But I got a little bit too comfortable, and that eventually led to the complete and utter destruction of my YouTube channel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And well, what angle should we take it? Because first of all, here's what happened. After YouTube channel got deleted, I started to re-upload my old cartoons and shit like that to Twitter, to X, and they've been doing really well. Like
it's
the
crazy.
Eli Klein cartoon is like a 250,000 views right now.
Fucking
like a bunch of YouTube. It was going nuts. Like I that the Last of Us cartoon that I did is like 250,000 views already on X. So it seems like X is sort of like that's probably if I was to do more like those type of transgressive short cartoons, X would be the way to go going forward.
Of course, now people are accusing you of taking your own channel down in order.
Oh God!
As if that would like somehow automatically give you clout and views. As if that's not the exact opposite of what happens when you lose a YouTube. You just never recover. By the way, you never recover. You will never fully recover from that. You will just permanently
and it
lose
sucks. You have to rebuild from scratch. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking absolutely fucking sucks. Who in their right mind would do that? Plus, it's just stupid fan fiction nonsense. You can watch it happen live. You saw it happen live. You know what I'm saying?
I saw it happen live. I can confirm. Here's what happened exactly. Okay. And this is it's actually
your perspective on it.
It's kind of funny. I mean, I got to be honest.
Oh, it is.
The second it happened, I was like, "Oh my fucking God, you're going to lose your channel." I said it in chat actually. I literally said
"Oh, really?"
Chat. I typed it into your chat. Sven, look out. You're in trouble. Cuz this exact same the way I lost my last YouTube channel was the exact same way. By the way, except I didn't actually do anything wrong, and you did.
Oh, I did? Okay, I'm interested to hear that because I don't think I did.
All right, so here's what happened. All right, so when I lost my YouTube channel, I was streaming an episode that I had pre-edited, and in the episode, I used clips of the movie The Crying Game, where the trans shows its penis. But I completely censored out the penis. Okay, there was zero nudity. But the Indian robots that run YouTube, they are, because they were able to detect that it was from the movie The Crying Game, and specifically because it was from that scene, despite the fact that I had censored it because it was in the context of a comedy show, that's in their minds against the rules. I appealed it. It was denied because, again, it fell on Indian ears, which is worse than deaf. And also, if it had been an actual naked lady instead of a trans, the Indian dude would have been beating his dick. He would have been fine with it. The fact that it was a penis and it was a reveal like that, that's what was so upsetting for them. So I actually broke no rules but lost the channel. And now YouTube has... They truly do have like these AI things built in now that automatically detect nudity. And unless it's like really small on screen or really obscured in some way where, it's from some odd angle where you don't even immediately understand that what you're looking at is a man's scrotum or whatever, you're going to lose your shit. It's gone. They've had this built in.
I'll have a rebuttal against that, but finish your point, please.
Okay, so here's what was happening. I was watching your channel, and I was enjoying it. By the way, it was a great stream. And then what you did is you showed hardcore pornography.
No, you're wrong. I showed a thumbnail for 2 seconds because that's an important point.
All right,
I didn't show hardcore. I didn't show porno.
It was a thumbnail. It was a thumbnail, and it was
was illustrating my exact point. Because we should say this: I was doing a stream specifically about the exploitation of the porno industry,
right?
And I don't care whether or not you disagree or agree with that chat right now. Okay, we're not gonna reignite that whole debate. I don't give a fuck about that. We're talking about censorship right now. You know what I'm saying? So I was talking about the exploitative nature of the porn industry, and I specifically, because I made a lot of notes, I researched the topic, and I pulled up a thumbnail of an example of Lana Rhoades, which was the top porno actress on Pornhub, the biggest porno distribution platform in our modern times, and drinking from a bowl of piss. Excuse me?
And biggest child porn platform of all time.
Sure, and human trafficking and everything. You know what I'm saying? Ran by a rabbi. Can I say that? Can I say the R word? Rabbi?
Rabbi, we're going to allow. I think the R word on YouTube is either rape or retard, so I think we're good with rabbi.
Okay, we're good with rabbi. These are just facts, okay? There's not even any kind of a judgment attached to this. So this is what I was discussing, and then to illustrate my point of what better illustration to show a woman
than literally
drinking a bowl of piss?
Natural illustrations. Yeah, you're right.
Human excrement is being drank for the enjoyment of all. And by the way, the reason I pulled up that one specifically is because I was going to get into the whole thing where all these top porno women right now, look, naively and stupidly so, whatever you want to say, they all are turning against the porno industry. They want to have children now. They want to have all the content deleted. That's their stupid, naive little bitch woman point that they want to do. Right? I understand that it's never going to happen. And in response to that, this porno mafia, these producers, they started re-releasing old content, unedited footage of them doing the most heinous, atrocious acts. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I was leaning into. So this was just this little thumbnail that I showed literally for 2 seconds. Right. I even go, look, I'm going to show you this for 2 seconds. Here it is.
Yes.
And then I pull it off screen.
That's again, assuming that the Indians at YouTube care about context at all. They don't.
Yeah, and how cucked are we that we need to appeal to this? It's basically we've created this upper class of fucking Indian sand poo people, diarrhea men, cockroach people that we have to now appease to.
We are now the untouchables to Indian people. It's crazy. Their caste system is now well above. They're in control. The Indians are in control.
They are in control.
But
they decide what constitutes free speech or not, basically.
Exactly. But just to be completely clear, the thumbnail you showed for 2 seconds was a woman drinking a big bowl of peepee, and also you could fully see the man's scrotum.
A man's sack.
Yes.
A man's scrotum. Okay. Now, I won't get into this. So look. So I have gone through YouTube's re-education program many times. Okay?
Yeah.
So I know a little bit about it. All right.
Sure.
So they say like, can you show footage of like a Al Qaeda recruitment video? Blah blah blah. And sometimes even I went like, no, obviously not. And they say, no, yes, you can, as long as it's transformative, journalistic, and it's like a commentary. You're allowed to restream stuff like that. Okay, when it comes to porno or like nudity and sex content, the reasons these measures are in place is because they want to prevent YouTube from becoming a porno platform. So you cannot upload porns, obviously. You also cannot be like a sexy Twitch-style streamstress who's showing her tits, fingering her pussy, or whatever, stuff like that. Right. That's what it's meant to be, okay? And now, look, I was definitely not showing porno because my audience was horny and we wanted to jack off together, okay? That's wasn't the intent. It was definitely
I was jacking off, but it was before the porn.
Sure, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying you can't even jack off to my stream. If that's something you want to do, that's fine by me. But look, that was not the intent of the stream. I was doing a critique, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yes, I did show a ball sack. So then it becomes the question of, are you allowed to show a ball sack specifically in critique? Because I had people say like, come on, you're coping. You did show porn. No, I showed a thumbnail. And then I pulled up a bunch of different videos on YouTube right now with ball sacks in them. There's like surgery videos. And not only do you see the ball sack, you see the full inside of the ball sack. Ugh. Even the testicle itself gets popped out. You couldn't see more ball sack than this video. God. Okay?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
There's
a lot of ball sack in that video.
There's videos on YouTube where it's like a Twinkie Asian man getting his asshole shaved live. You can see anything. There's my most infamous example is there's a video where it's just gay guys in a gay guy sex toy shop showing how to put on a cock ring. It's just two guys putting rings around their cocks, fully showing everything, nothing. Yeah, obviously the rules are different for different people.
Yeah. Look. So they would say that's educational, right? And you look, as much as I am not interested in the gay cock ring tutorials. Look, if that's YouTube's policy, that's fine, okay?
Well, but you love education, though. Don't you want to learn?
You know what? Maybe I should watch a couple of them. But here's the thing. I'm just trying to argue I didn't break the rules, really. I didn't really break them. Now, look, was I very animated? Was I saying the K word a bunch? I don't know what other type of words I said. I think it probably had something more to do with the fact that they actually didn't like the context. Because yes, you can show certain things within the proper context as per their re-education program. They just didn't like the context. That's what it was about, I think.
I agree mostly with all of that. I do think it was probably maybe partially the problem was also that, it's a lady holding a big bowl of piss and drinking it. And it's a guy actively holding his cock and pissing into it. And you can see his full scrotum.
Sure, but I've shown so much stuff like that though, Jesse. Like every week I start off my show with like Indians eating brains, eating from a urinal, Chinese piss.
I'm with you, buddy.
Like that.
That's all I'm watching all the time on YouTube. I'm right there with you. I agree, and you should, and that should be most videos on YouTube, by the way. But. Listen, I can point out, I can literally go to right now a video on YouTube where a guy's got his ball sack out. I mean, that's not, and I don't mean one of these like educational, like a comedy video where they've just never, it's nothing's happened. I honestly believe that the bigger problem with it is that that's a recognized thumbnail. The thumbnail you used is like, you could find that on Google Images. It's copyrighted, probably. There's probably I would guarantee you there's a bigger problem with it because it's copyrighted material than it is that a woman is drinking a big bowl of diarrhea or whatever. I don't think that part really matters.
So then it does become about the context, and it probably is more so the fact that I started to talk about the industry, who runs it, and all those aspects. That then when they did the review of it, they were like, you know what? Let's get rid of this.
Right.
Fuck him. Right. It's not the ball sack. If you think it was the ball sack, that's just naive. It's the context that they did not like, And I had people. So I had certain people, won't name any names. They were like, listen, Sven, we're rooting for you. We want to see you succeed, but you have this self-destructive nature to you. And it's like trying to root for, but look, fair enough. Like they can have their take, right? They go, it's like rooting for a football player who keeps getting injured, right? It's like you don't need to be ultra turbo based all the time. Like try to do this and that. And I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to be anything. You're coming at me here with some sort of a marketing thing that you want to talk about. This is me. These are the topics that I am turbo based. I'm not trying to placate to an audience. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that I'm interested in talking about. And on top of that, just to get a little bit philosophical here, I am an artist after all. I think it is the job of an artist and a comedian or whatever you want to call it You need to be on the edge, okay? You need to be you need to be on the edge. So whenever they call you an edge lord, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. And you move off the pre-accepted kosher plantation into the unknown. You clear the fog of war, and you bring some of that uncomfortable stuff back. And that's when you highlight that. You talk about it. That's the job of an artist, okay? So when they say, no, you just need to stay on the plantation to be more successful or make more money, I'm like, yeah, what's the point? I might as well become an accountant. Like, that's not what an artist does. I am an artist. So that's my job, And I understand I'm going to be fucked with. Censorship is always going to be there. And then I gave them an example. It's like, listen, for instance, the whole transsexual topic, LGBTQ, homo, tranny shit, that's now been mainstreamed. 4 years ago, when I was talking about this shit, raving about the trannies, I was losing my channels all the time, getting censored, all this shit. Now it's like it's broad into the light. It's been taken out of the fog of war into the mainstream. We've shifted the goalposts into a positive direction. Culture is healing. And now, by virtue of that topic as an artist is no longer interesting to me. I had like 10 Americaman comics written making fun of trannies. But at this point, it's like, what's the fucking point, So there's other things in the dark that we need to focus on. So, you know what I'm saying? When people say stuff like that, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
I think you're like me in that you literally just cannot talk about stuff that you're not interested in. Like, I've been doing this experiment for the past month and a half, 2 months or so, where I'm just trying to, pump out slop tint, garbage content, and I can't do it. I've not successfully done the experiment that I set out to do. Not one time this whole time. Literally wanted to phone it in. Okay. And when I say literally, I mean, I had a plan to do an episode where I put a phone here in front of the camera
and you're calling
I'm calling in, and I've got nothing. Because I see all these fucking streamers, I see all these shows where they've got nothing and they've got nothing to say and they've got no point of view, and they do it daily. And that's the bigger issue I have with it, is that they do it daily or 3 times, whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing a daily show. And I'm going to talk about the stuff that I usually deem too mainstream to talk about, but that's like as if I'm actively thinking about it. I just don't give a shit about that stuff. And so I don't cover it. And when I'm talking about guys that nobody gives a fuck about but me, it's because that's all I can do. I don't know how to do anything else. I think you're the same in that regard.
Yeah.
And there's in this experiment I've been running, I have talked a little bit more about certain, like I did an episode about iDubbbz, who is a guy that I've never watched, don't care about.
Yeah.
But I found one angle about it that interested me. That was the problem. I ended up finding something where it's like, oh, I can talk about this. That's not what anybody else does. What everybody else does is they talk about shit even though they don't fucking care. And even though it inspires nothing.
You're right? So what they end up doing is they sort of become like white noise machines, because their prime directive is clicks. Their prime directive is ad revenue. Their prime directive is making money, you know what I'm saying, or being popular, or that's not my prime directive.
Or having the most craziest, insanest episode of all time.
Yeah. Yes. So that's not my prime directive. And then some people, they don't understand that, because they're like, it's just like you're speaking 2 different languages. They're like, but why are you running a business then if you don't want to generate money? It's just, that's not the prime directive, it's secondary directive or tertiary. I want to make art. I want to talk about things that are interesting to me, and they just happen to be things that are not mainstream. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about the clicks.
You are lucky in that you have a skill and a talent in something that is objectively apparent. Like, you can see, it is clear to anybody with eyes that you can draw, right? But doing these streams or shows or podcasts, that's a very subjective sort of, plasmordial kind of incomprehensible
it requires people to commit to it for hours on end to even be able to see whether or not there is talent there. Basically.
Right. And that's the problem, is nobody wants to commit that time to something that they don't already know. And so that was the point of this experiment that I've been running to some degree. I'm not fully delving into all the details here, but part of it was to, I know that people want to hear about pre-approved thing. And that's kind of what you're talking about here is, I think it's beyond edgelord, which is by the way, that's a term I've never understood. Edgy. I straight up, you couldn't explain it to me to save your life. I don't think you're not the right guy to do it because you're the one embracing it. But the people who use it pejoratively, I always say,
oh, that's what you say.
I always say, what does that mean? What do you mean edgy? And
how is that pejorative? Why is that a problem? Explain to me why that is an insult.
Well, because here's the thing is every time somebody says that as an insult, what they mean to say, what they're implying is that you think you are pushing boundaries in this underhanded, almost like juvenile way, right? I understand conceptually that is what they're trying to fucking say.
And I'll even embrace that, but okay.
Yeah, fine. But the irony of it is, and this is where they lose me every time, what they're really saying is, I'm offended. Me, the guy saying you are edgy. You pushed my boundaries. And it's a crazy thing to say as an internet guy.
They're proving the point. They're proving the point. They're disproving themselves.
It's the same. It's the same way I treat I talk about this all the time. It's the same way I treat people who say try hard when they go, you're a try hard. I'm like, you don't want me to try. You don't want people trying. You hate trying. So I embrace that. I'm like, I try harder. I'm going to try the fucking hardest. You try hard, I try harder. And it's the same thing. There's this desire online. It's specifically online, by the way. The second you take this to the real world, all of this melts away. But there's this thing online, and it's a performative thing. I think it's just the nature of the, of the vapor-like reality of the digital world, where everything is ephemeral. Everything is potentially temporary. They say the internet is forever, but it really isn't. Just ask our YouTube channels. And I think what happens is, because of this ephemeral nature of it, people think that anything that you sink time into, thought into, money into, effort into is a waste of all of those things. And they don't want to be caught doing it, because then that would make them uncool in some way. Meanwhile, every single thing that people do online is a waste of time. That's all the internet is.
I mean, I guess that sort of ties into that whole culture of irony. Everybody has this ironic filter on it, and if you have any sort of, if you're genuine or trying, it's seen as lame or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, but what's the alternative? You just sit there ironically consuming slop all day long, not giving your opinion, not showing your true face because that's safe. No, you're a complete fucking faggot ass, bitch ass. N.
Thank God you saved it with N after the F one. And again, obviously, I don't have an issue with any of this, but YouTube does.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know what? I don't fucking care. We've been saying it actually on the show. Nothing happened. I don't monetize on YouTube, and I think they don't give a shit once you're not really monetizing anything.
Yes, I think, look, I remember before even 2020, when we were doing streams, I was still doing 100% art streams Sven streams, by the way. Go check it out, please. Follow my channel.
Oh yeah, what is the? Let's say the channel now so that people can go sub.
Do you want me to post in the chat maybe? Like,
if you can,
hi,
if it
guys.
will let you. Yeah, I don't know if it'll let you do it because
the link or I don't know.
Yeah, it's YouTube sometimes lets links through and sometimes doesn't. I'm not sure. I'll do it. Yeah, fuck it. I'll just do it. It'll let me.
It's at Sven, YouTube at Sven streams. That was a backup channel that we used to use. Oh, I posted it. Maybe it works. But yeah, so that one I'm doing Rumble. I'm doing. People are saying they really want Odyssey. You said Rumble is fake now.
Yeah,
I'm getting a lot of conflicting.
Rumble is completely
here.
Not worth it whatsoever, guys. Yeah. Please.
But then Odyssey. What do you think of that? Odyssey. Okay.
Odyssey. There's nobody. Odyssey's fine, but nobody's actually watching over on Odyssey. If you can get people there, then it could be worth it. Like, but if you're trying to find an audience or you need to rebuild one, I don't think so.
Yeah. So, and do you stream to Twitter at all or no?
To Twitter, no. I've done it. I've tried it. I'm sure that works for some people. Here's my thing with the Twitter stream is I'll be scrolling my timeline and I'll see somebody's live on Twitter and it'll even say that 400 people are watching or some pretty high number of people are watching. Yeah. And then I'll click on it and there is a comment thing. There's like a chat and I've never seen anyone chat. And so I don't know that number is real in any way. And I know I'm normally just scrolling past these streams.
Yes, Twitter is a medium. You just want to get your news. You want to scroll through it. It's not something that you're going to stick around for long form content. But here's what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, if they built a video platform, like if they've built something that was meant to watch videos on, fuck yeah, I'd use it. And it was still connected to Twitter.
Or Elon just buys YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
That would have been better, yeah.
That'd be cool. But what I'm thinking is, look, as soon as you already start multi-streaming, because my issue with that was just you're dissipating your audience across multiple platforms.
Yep.
Now you need a hub, which you've done. Obviously, you have your website. I also have my Patreon-esque website because I got banned off of Patreon years and years ago. So I also have that. As long as you have that hub, it can work. But then if you already make the decision to multi-stream, don't you think you just might as well just go all the way, just stream to everything? Like, who gives a fuck at that point?
Yeah. I tried when I lost my last channel and I came back, I was experimenting with all of that. And I thought the exact same thing you just said. And I was going to Rumble and everything I could. And for me, knowing that Rumble, you'll never know if anyone's actually watching. Knowing that it's a pain in the ass comparatively to set up streams for it. Like, it's just not as streamlined as everything else. Which maybe they have fixed that, or maybe they will fix that. But right now, or as far as I'm aware, it's gay and shit. And using the site is gay and shit. And by the way, watching it on Rumble is gay and shit. They are feeding ads every 4 minutes into your live stream.
That's the thing that I don't even think you can turn it off. They just did look, it is going to be like tech talk, but they finally figured out how to do a static stream key. Yeah. And that doesn't even fucking work. So it is a fucking pain in the ass. And especially if you're a guy like you or me, and you're sitting here alone, like I have 15 fucking screens up monitoring while I'm trying to have a interesting conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's like anxiety-inducing experience to run one of these streams if it doesn't fucking work smoothly. So just know, guys in the chat, if you go, oh my god, your audio sucks, that's just another thing added to the pile of complete goddamn pandemonium that's happening on all these screens that I got set up here.
It's really retarded. Every little thing adds to it. I'll tell you this. I think you could have some luck on Kick. I am currently streaming to Kick right now. I don't pay any attention to the Kick, but I feel like if I did, I could probably grow an audience there. There are people who are probably watching there right now, even though it's probably 2 guys in the chat room. They're going to watch on Kick, even though they know we're all over here at YouTube. They're Kick guys. They're going to be over there. I just you know, I know that I've got an audience over on YouTube, so I'm just not going to take the time to try to build up kick. It seems pointless to do that. In my understanding, in my experience of all of this, the absolute smartest thing you can do when you get kicked off of YouTube.
Yeah. So here's the plan for anybody who wants to do a stream, a multi-stream to certain platforms, but also definitely have your own website hub where everybody can always come back to. That's the thing that you promote, basically, right?
Yeah, but
that's sort of the idea.
But the main thing you can do when you get kicked off of YouTube is just go ahead and start making a new YouTube and make that the thing you folks.
And look, that's what I did. That was my system. I had my main channel and then my backup channel. Whenever my main channel would have 2 strikes, I would move over to the backup channel. I would ping pong back and forth. Yeah. But again, yes, I got caught slipping because I didn't delete all of the egregious material soon enough.
Right. Yeah.
These cocksuckers.
I mean, listen, and this is the other thing too. Like, you and I both have this where the fact that we last as long as we do is the shocking part. It's not that we're getting kicked off.
Yeah.
It's that we were ever on and ever able to build an audience to begin with. And that's been true for the past, I want to say 10 years at minimum. There was a time where you could just do all this stuff. Nobody gave a fuck. It wasn't that long ago.
And I think both you and I, we want to get back to a 2000s internet. That's the culture that needs to be cultivated. That's what I want. Free speech. Funny content, racist content.
I
Who
hate
gives
it.
A fuck?
I hate it because it's such an old man thing to do, to be like, well, back in my day, like, this is old man shit. It's boomer shit to do that. We're doing millennial boomer.
It's millennial coded, sure.
Yes.
But here's the thing: these Zoomers didn't know how good we had it. You know what I'm saying? We're doing them a favor. Good. It's not like I'm trying to get them into yacht rock. No, I'm trying to get you into like awesome shit. Stop being faggots.
One of the missions. I've given up. I don't care. All right. Just say what a nigger. Okay. So I'm trying to do with the Podawful cult is I'm trying to literally find a way back to whatever the perfect year of internet was. I actually made a post not that long ago saying, like, what is the pinnacle? What was the pinnacle year of internet? And I was very surprised to find what the average answer was.
I'm actually interested in hearing that. Yeah. What was the average?
Let me bring that up. I think I did it on my YouTube and I did it on Twitter. I'll bring up the YouTube and see what people said over there.
Now, obviously, it's going to depend on the type of audience, the age range, and stuff like that. I would assume your audience is like millennial Zoomer, probably like 24 to 40 or something like that.
Yes, 24 to 40 is probably the exact. Which I don't know. Is that Zoomer? I don't think that includes Zoomer.
I think 24 is Zoomer, right?
Okay. Yeah, here we go. I said, what was the pinnacle year for the internet? Absolute best time to surf web. Need to pin it down to an exact year. This was the important part to me. I need an exact year because one day we're going to be punching that into a dial and trying to go back. All right. So we got 2005. Oh, well, this person says 2005 to 2007. This person says 99 to 2005. 2012, 2008, 2005 to 2010. I remember it as across Twitter and across YouTube that I feel like the average time period that they said was around like 2007 to 2010, which I was shocked by. Yeah. And I do think that it must be an age thing. It must be that my audience.
What would you say?
I would say way before that. Yeah. Like not even close. Like,
yeah, look. Here's the difficult thing. So obviously, you would like to keep all the technical innovation and all that stuff, and distribution and stuff like that. But we are talking about culture, okay? We're talking about the internet culture. So I would also say way before that, back when I was playing Counter-Strike 1.5, that type of internet, you know what I'm saying?
I would give up all the tech. I would give up all the tech for the culture. I would give up all the tech to be back on forums and bulletin boards. You know what I mean?
Sure. But I think when we could go like this. Everything after 2012, that's where shit starts to go horrible, and that has to do with the political landscape and that cultural shift. Because of course, around that time, 2014, that's Trayvon Martin. We got Obama 2008 or whatever.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I've always said that 2014
gay.
2014 is the year it changed. It happened.
Yeah, that's where
That's it.
Yeah.
That is the moment. It's a complete cutoff point. It's night and day from 2013 to 2015. Those are two different lifetimes, basically.
Yes.
Between
so, by the way, look, this kind of makes me think of a segue. I don't know if we have more to discuss when it comes to this topic, but
whatever.
This is a funny thing that I noticed. We were talking about briefly, I saw you post about the Big GAY Oakerson's new special called They Them, right? Now, of course,
it's 2025.
Let me set this up.
Okay,
so you have 2014. That's the cultural shift. So it's been a decade of trannies, they, thems, F words, all this stuff. Now, right when Donald Trump creates this vibe shift, this cultural vibe shift.
Yeah.
He signs the executive orders to ban all the transsexual bathrooms. They're being fired from the military, everywhere across the board.
And I say ban all bathrooms, by the way. Get rid of every bathroom.
Okay, sure, I agree. Get rid of all bathrooms, anything sanitary. I want to go back to the Middle Ages. Now look, so we're getting rid of all this stuff. Right. And it also ties back into what we were talking about earlier. Like, what is an artist? What is a comedian? You're supposed to be on the edge and go into the uncharted territory, into the fog of war, into the unacceptable. You have to go off the acceptable plantation. And now, when everything is said and done, it's all over, this is where Big Jay Oakerson, the great comedian, releases his big, edgy, they-them thing.
Yeah.
It's just so out of touch. It's ridiculous levels of, like, not being in touch with culture, it seems.
Absolutely.
Or is there some other reason?
No, it's absolutely insane. Yeah, doing a special called They, Them. Check this out. Look at this. All right, this is my tweet.
Yeah, let's show people this.
So here's Big Jay Oakerson. He says, Part 1, February 20th. Get ready. Because, dude, he's about to fucking... Oh, man.
This is going to be dangerous stuff, dude.
They should put barbed wire around the stage when you watch this one.
Yeah.
Because, buddy, the nuclear codes are being put in right now. So
I can't believe you went there.
I know. They, them.
Wow.
So
how dare he?
So he says, get ready, hashtag comedy. Okay, good to know. I wasn't sure before, Jay. Hashtag crowd work. This is something I've been lambasting recently. And then hashtag special, which, no, it's not. My response to this, of course, is all crowd work, not special. These are not, there's no such thing as a comedy special. There hasn't been in a very long time. There's nothing special about it. They used to be special because 5 guys did comedy, and like every 7 years they would put out some sort of thing saying, here's my act. And then you would go, oh my gosh, I can watch it.
Would you think that, like, because we were talking about this earlier too. So I think, was this on air or was this before?
During the
when it's like, when you talk about like how cringe comedy is because of this pre-rehearsed fucking nonsense, right? It's like a guy ego tripping on the stage, and he went through these things a million times. But then again, if you crowd work, of course, you can't rehearse that really. Well, I guess you can to a degree. You've done it a million times. You've encountered all these scenarios, so you have like your comebacks to certain things.
Yes,
but it's not completely scripted.
I made that exact point. You said it. You actually, maybe you saw this then because you said you watched the.
Maybe I stole your point.
you might have.
I've thought about this a little bit, but
the episode where I was talking about Natalie Cuomo, the tattoo flash wall comedian who had a complete bizarre meltdown on stage, forcing an audience member to look into her eyes because he was funnier than her. I made this point about crowd work, and it's number one, by the way, if you're doing crowd work, the audience gets to respond. If you're talking
of course, fair game.
in any other scenario, when you're just doing your act, there's a fourth wall there. It's an invisible fourth wall. You're not allowed to break it. If they break it, they're inviting you in. And you have to understand that as a comedian. But the other problem is every comedian now is doing only crowd work. And it's because that's what gets hits on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok. And so they upload these stupid clips, and every show you go to now, it's 90% crowd work because they're filming it, hoping they can put you, the idiot gay guy, in their audience. Ha ha, stupid. You paid $20 for this? Well, time to upload you and make a fucking fortune off of your idiot retard answers. You work at a job? What are you, stupid? So Big J Oakerson is doing a two-part, that's wild, two-part crowd work only special. Here's where it gets really insane. He's calling it them, they, which, by the way, that's backwards, so you fucked up. What is with this, by the way? One of them comes out in February, the other one in April? You gotta wait that long for the sequel? And then
so what I'm wondering, if we reverse engineer this, right? So again, because this is another theme with these types of guys that are not really that creative. So do you think that his Jewish fucking handler told him like, listen, we got to split this up and we're gonna increase the audience, some kind of a marketing ploy?
Yeah.
So they had this concept of splitting a special in two, and then he came up, what if we call it they them? Do you think it worked like that? Or how, what was the creative process behind called his they them? Because look, wait, real quick, because usually when you name your comedy special, at least it has something to do with the true line of the special, the storyline, the armature, sort of vaguely of the special, right? So when I see that thing and he has like makeup on, they them, I assume, oh shit, this is gonna be, at least in some shape or form, a commentary on the LGBTQ community. But but how are you gonna weave that into a semi-unscripted crowd work special? Because if it has nothing to do with that, then why are you calling it they them? You know what I'm saying?
Also, why is there a drop shadow on the tear in between? That doesn't even make any sense. All right, anyway.
That's also very annoying.
What the fuck is that? All right, here's what I think happened. And when I say I think this happened, I mean I guarantee this happened. Big J Oakerson was sitting there jacking off the trans porn. Okay, because he's known to do this.
As he does.
And
he's a vulgar type of guy.
He loves it. He's into all the rabbis' websites. And
to the point he needs to derail any conversation being had to move into the subject of tranny shit, sex, the most heinous stuff.
You know, if you're like an Opie and Anthony guy, you have to be into fucking dudes wearing dresses. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's cool. That's super
it's
normal,
awesome, dude. Well, the thing is, they're being brutally honest when they tell you. What is it about brutal honest? How is it that everybody who's brutally honest, the thing that they're brutally honest about is that they fuck guys? I don't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cool.
Can we try a new?
Again, dude. They psyoped Gen X into thinking fucking guys is cool.
Yeah.
Like it's a psyop, dude.
Can we do this? Let's try it. Let's try a new thing. Let's try a new thing. If brutal honesty is you fucking guys, let's try brutal lying from now on. I don't want to know. Can we just do anything else? These Opie and Anthony guys, which are all and by the way, I love Gen X. I'll never denigrate Gen X. I think Gen X is the cool generation, me personally. Boomers are everything people say they are. Millennials will become boomers, and we're doing it right now in real time in front of you. But Gen X, they've always been exactly what they are. They got fucked, by the way. If you think millennials got fucked by boomers, Gen X got fucked by them first. And I don't know. I have an appreciation for Gen X. I think you probably do too. If you
sure, a little here and there, sure. But look, so for instance, like Gen X, look. So you have like the grunge, the jackass culture and stuff like that. But that is what that's what these comedians have adopted. And they sort of make like, hey, come on, I'm just fucking a chick with a little bit of extra in the meatpacking district. They make it into this jackassy dude bro type of thing. Smoke weed, fucking guy up the ass. It's like, you see what I'm saying? Like
you're right.
They're not based. They're not based. Millennials, look, there's a lot of problems there, obviously, but at least there's some based millennials, and then we can see what's going to happen to the next generation, to the Zoomers, but there's no based Gen Xers, really.
You're right. You're
dude,
right.
bro, weed smoking gays.
A lot of it, yes, a lot. You know what it is? You know what I think it really is everything I loved growing up was a Gen X thing, even though I am not Gen X. When the day I found out about millennials, I was like heartbroken. I was like, I'm not Gen X? Fuck. I was I'm not kidding. I was so mad. One, Gen X it's the coolest name for the generation ever. Like, you can't.
Millennial sucks, Dick. That sucks.
Millennial
it's the worst word.
Yeah, that's.
Oh no, it's not the worst one. Wait, what is the one coming up again?
Alpha.
All right. Okay, that's kind of cool, but then you're gonna go into beta.
Fuck those, dude.
They're fucked.
They're fucked.
Fucked by virtue of the name. Sorry.
Insane. If I was,
we better be enthralled in a world war during that generation because they're gonna be gay.
You might as well call them Gen Cuck. I mean, it's crazy. If I was a Gen Beta, I would be sitting there going, we got to workshop this, guys. Let's go to the drawing board. We're going to have to come up. Millennials did that, by the way. Millennials invented millennial. That was an invention of millennials. They did it because they had control of the internet. So they made all those stupid listicle articles saying this is what we are. And we had all the resources. We had all the choices. And we went with that one. That one stinks. Anyway, Gen X.
Yeah, and now when you think of a millennial, you think of like a Redditor. You think of like a Tumblrina type of thing. The queer shit, that's all millennial. So sorry, Zoomers.
It is. It's the gayest generation is millennials. And so I was extremely sad to find out. It was probably 2014 when I found out. That was the day my innocence died, where I was like, oh, I'm not Gen X. I had no idea. And I think part of it, too, was that I grew up in a town, in a place, in a time where, there's a lot of, cultural hand-me-downs going on. Meaning, we're in a stuck culture now where everything is from the 80s and 90s and hits of today. And there will never be a new thing ever again, except for Butch Killigan. And that's it. That's all. Our only hope for new stuff. Is America? It might
literally actually be true what you just said, but okay.
I 100% actually do believe that. But when I was a kid, I was like, for what? I don't know why. I was a child, so I can't possibly parse this. But for whatever reason, I grew up watching all the 80s shit, even though that was not completely before I was born in the 80s, but it was a little before my time. I was watching shit that was 7 years old, basically, at all times. I don't know how or why, but that was what was, and the toys and stuff. A lot of it was that. Obviously, I had the 90s shit too. But here's the thing. I loved, in the 90s, speaking of the Gen X stuff, I loved all the gross out stuff. That stuff is what, obviously Ren and Stimpy, we've talked about it. But all that gross out shit. I mean, look at my fucking logo here. This ought to tell you everything you need to know.
Exactly.
That was what I loved, and I kind of agree with you. I do believe that liking this, for whatever reason, in a lot of Gen Xers' heads, they looked at this and they're like, well, what if I was fucking a guy's butthole? Is that gross? That'd be fun.
Whoa!
Flag
fly?
Yes, I was young enough that I didn't have that connection. Whatever happened in the water or whatever, that didn't happen to me.
Yeah. Look, there's a thing with culture, right? So you can see this in fashion and in graphic design. Everything is on a loop.
20 years.
So even in in the 2000s, the 70s came back, a little bit of the 60s, but it got infused with this new tech stuff, which led to Y2K. But then after 2010, and people have discussed this ad nauseum, you know what I'm saying? But
I think
there's
we did
no
on the last
defining
episode
feature.
you were on.
Yes, but look, there's no defining aesthetic anymore
Right.
after 2010s. Like what defines this? And it increasingly becomes more garbage. And I don't know if we talked about this on the last episode, but what happens is people tend to venerate specifically the flaws of a previous generation. So for instance,
Right.
what you see now a lot of the times, like people, millennials, we grew up with VHS tapes and pixel art games. So now that we start to make our own indie projects, we tend to emulate specifically the flaws, because what is a VHS tape? It's an obsolete medium. So we just use all the chroma key and all this shit, and we make pixel games. You know what I'm saying? And it's this infused,
and
it's a
that is-
veneration
and
of
you're
flaws of a
saying-
medium and nostalgia.
And you're saying that is bad?
No, I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just observing what reality is.
Okay,
And then you
all
can,
right, just
'cause
checking.
You used to be able. No. Because what the thing is, because the 2010s don't have a defining feature, you used to be able to predict sort of where things could go, and that's where how designers could get inspired to see what connects to people. But there's nothing. There's no pool to take anything from. Look, you could now go, and you see this already, like PlayStation 1 games. But even if you see like the progression in video game graphics, that's gone to a complete screeching halt. You know what I'm saying? Games from 2008, or some games that were made, like Resident or Silent Hill 2, look as good as games that are being made now. That game came out in 2004, I believe, or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everything's gone through a screeching halt. And culture is declining and stagnating. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that's not a bad thing. That's just a thing that happens.
Well, with the, our mutual friend, Spum Donor, aka
Love that guy.
What his YouTube name is, Cartoon Aesthetics. He had the most. He somehow summed up all of my feelings ever and thoughts on Gen X ever on one of his first, I think it was his first video, maybe second video he ever put up, which was like just an introduction to a series he was doing about this Gen X 90s comic book called Hate. And
I saw that. It was a really good series. I encourage everybody to go watch that, by the way.
It's
really
very good. And the opening of it is a fucking masterpiece. Like he nails it. He nails what made Gen X good, while being fair and saying like it had its flaws, obviously. But he nailed literally stuff I had been thinking in my head, to the point where I was like, I should tweet something, like somebody needs to say this shit. For years, and he did it all. Every single thing in this video. It's a beautiful work of art. But he kind of nailed that, and I feel like Gen X they've got it in them to be good, and they haven't fucked up so bad that it's like irrecoverable. Like with boomers, it's over. Like there's no coming back from being a boomer. You're a boomer.
Of course not. Well, no, I'm cheerleading them to fucking die already. Get out of here. So we finally, the Gen X can get a chance. Gen X is getting skipped. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not going to say that because that's my parents, but yes.
Right. Well, but they,
Although my parents actually did fuck up everything ever, so
my parents are proto boomers. I've never seen a dime. They never help out. They never give any advice. They put me in front of a TV. You know what I'm saying? That's why I became an animator, probably.
My dad's about to turn 80, so he's like this close to being part of the. I think it's the silent generation. Is the generation before boomer. He gets a pass. He completely gets a pass. My mom, sorry, you don't. Anyway, so
how many months are you going to take off when your father finally passes?
To the come on, dude.
Wait, I need to go take a quick piss.
Are you sure you want to hint at anything here? Because people are going to know. They're going to know. Do you really need to go take a piss?
I'm joshing. I need to take a quick little hot whiz, but I'm enjoying myself, Jesse.
All right, go tinkle. Enjoy.
I'll be right back.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
Support the show. Join the Pizza Fund. Podawful.pizza.
Pizza.
Podawful.pizza.
All right, join the Pizza Fund, get access to our bonus content, our primo episodes. I'm going to do a pod after show after I don't think Sven's going to stick around for it, but I'm going to do a pod after show after this one, I think. And so check it out, podawful.pizza, okay? You get our primo stuff, our band stuff. Sven's back. All right, so when it comes to Big J Oakerson, you know, he's got that Gen X gene. It does make him want. I think this is a guy just transing, by the way. This is Photoshop. He's not really wearing the make. He's not even really wearing a tiara. They just stuck that in there because I guess in their heads they went, this doesn't look gay enough. This isn't female enough for the they them project. But I'll tell you exactly what happened, how he came up with this scenario. Right? He's sitting there.
All right.
He's jerking to the trans porn. He goes, I should name my next comedy special They Them. And that's it.
Hilarious.
That's it. The fact that it's a two-parter came because he named it They Them first. That was it.
You think so?
Oh, 100%. 100%. He was like, in his head, he's just thinking about what's something topical. And this isn't topical, by the way, at all. But
it's not. It's the opposite. It's literally the one thing that's gone by the wayside right now. That's just. But but I think, and did we talk about this last time? Maybe we could briefly revisit this because, of course, Big J Oakerson, he's part of the Legion of Skanks, Gas Digital Network, and we talked about the conception of the Gas Digital Network,
the logo
aesthetic. Yes, so that started off with Louis J. Gomez, Ralph Sutton, or whatever it was. Yes, Sutton. So Gomez and Sutton. Oh, that's gas. All right, yes. Now we need to make our logo. So it became a guy pumping gas, and then they got the yellow and blue color scheme, and they ended up making a gas station aesthetic. And it's like, no, you're going completely the wrong route in the conception phase, you know. So I'm thinking this might have been a similar thing where they said, hey, it's going to be a split special. And then he goes, oh, how about like split they them type of stuff? Because look, here's the thing. When it comes down to it, if this comedy special does not have any themes about like tranny shit.
How could it? It's crowd work.
Then what is this then? What the fuck? Why would you name it this? There's no reason. There's no reason to name
There's
it this.
A part of me that's starting to wonder, did he do a crowd work special just for guys and then one just for girls?
Oh,
and
okay. Look,
I would
if
think
that's it.
Hang on. I would think that's maybe the case, except that they put guys in the background of both. There's only guys. There's not a single woman in the background of either one. The craziest part of this, by the way, design-wise, beyond the drop shadow, is I truly believe here's what happened, right? In his mind, them is guy and they is girl. And because they put the girl stuff on this side, he had to name this one. That's why it's them, they, and not they, them. They just fucked up.
Yeah.
It's just the
poster.
All right,
that's the thing. Yep.
Well, look at this. Look.
But okay, so that
them, they, them. This is why are there two posters, by the way? That would make sense for there to be two posters if one of them was them and the other one was they. But
yeah. Oh, yes. Sure. Again, yes. But look, if
what is happening?
If the them they thing, the they them they whatever it is, would have been like a marketing ploy to like get capitalized, or like it's like so controversial. That doesn't make any sense because it's the least controversial thing. Like nobody gives a fuck about this topic anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like this, so they can't. That cannot be the reason for it, unless this has been in development since like 2018 or something like that.
Maybe, yeah. He's just had this idea in the back pocket for that long. And, he's got really deep back pockets because he's wearing Jinkos. So it might have taken a while.
Fair, it's stuffed with little shawls and little.
Yeah, he's got his wallet chain hanging out of there.
His wallet chain.
How is it he does a stand-up special? He can't even fucking stand up for it. I mean, this is there's nothing special about this. I hate it. I hate crowd work. They've killed it all. And I said this on the Natalie Cuomo thing, but stand-up, what do stand-ups hate more than anything? They hate improv. Now they're all doing it. And they're not good at it because they hate it. You need to be able to be good at it. And these dudes, Big Jay Oakerson is on a podcast, right? He's on like 4 podcasts or something. He's maybe one of the more prolific ones of these guys. He's got that Bonfire. Isn't that one of them?
Yeah, look, and I'll say this, to be fair to Big Jay Oakerson, when he was doing the Bonfire with Dan Soder, that was a really good show. Okay. But now Dan Soder left, and he's doing it with Bob Kelly, and it's just really bad.
I've never listened to it, but he's got Legion of Skanks.
Used to be really good.
He's got Legion of Skanks. I think he's on another one too. Maybe 2 other ones.
Oh yeah, Story Wars. They're doing
Story Wars. Yeah. Okay, I knew there was another.
And
one.
by the way, I love losing. I do the artwork for Skankfest.
I know.
I'm like the poster.
I've had Lewis on the show.
Look, you got to be honest, right?
You got to be honest. I mean, if you're not, you got to be brutally honest. And by the way, I fucked a guy. So I like Lewis. I like Louis J. Gomez. He's been on the show. Friend of the show.
I really like Louis J. Gomez, and I actually also really like Big Jay Oakerson. But how about they come to me for the posters and that stuff, and don't do it yourself?
God.
Did you see the trailer? Look at the trailer.
There's a trailer.
Yes.
Where is it? Where do I see that?
It's not. It's on that post probably. That was another thing. Is like, where do I even watch this special? There's nothing. There's no links in this.
No, Sven. This trailer, it says T-2 days, make crowd work great again.
What the fuck is happening? So they're just trying to capitalize. This is really like confused messaging here.
I know. That doesn't even go with the they them thing. What is this? Look at this. All right, watch. Make crowd work great again.
As a hairstylist, do you have?
Oh wait, there's something different. I haven't seen this.
Oh, okay.
You do. How old are you? 27. 27.
You suck any black cock.
I mean,
this is your girlfriend?
Fuck me, dude. It's literally him saying, "What do you do for a living?" And then just she just does. By the way, the answer was just something. And the crowd goes wild. Hairstylist.
Yeah, what are some of the tropes, Jesse? You'd be more familiar with this. What are some of the tropes? Because I know, like Big J. Let's predict some of the topics, right? So he's gonna go like, "Oh, you guys together? Oh my God! Oh, whoa! What a weird couple."
All you do. This is it. And you're right. What you said is 100% true. They've got pre-planned stuff because the crowd ain't that different. You the guy.
Tropes, there's archetypes.
No offense, but you, the guy in the audience, you're just like everybody else in the world. Okay, if he was sitting in a place where the crowd was like assembled to be the most interesting people ever, then sure, something wild might happen. But he's reaching. You're taking a big risk doing crowd work because you could get 5 guys that are all like, "I'm an accountant. How can I help?" Yes, that's what I do. So here's the joke.
What's your favorite color? Gray.
How old are you?
Music? Gray.
Yes, exactly. How old are you? What do you do for a living? Are you gay? And by the way, if you're
do you have an interracial relationship? What did your parents think of that?
oh, they're scanning the audience for the interracial. He's got 5 jokes set up, ready to go for the interracial ones. He's got them. He's got 5 for guy, black, girl, white, and 5 for.
Ooh, but imagine you have a disabled guy.
Oh my god, dude!
Midget.
Have you seen? This is a real thing.
Matt Rife with the disabled guy.
Okay, so
that's what you were going to mention.
That is one of them. This is a recurring thing. There is a recurring thing with stand-ups where they get, these dudes are doing arenas. Like stand-up is such a propped up fake thing that these guys have so many people coming out to see them. It's a big bubble and we're here to burst it, okay? We need to get the hecklers in there because what happens is if you have, I don't know, 1,000 people in your audience, let's say, one of them's going to be physically retarded in some obvious way from the stage. And guess what?
God bless.
When you're physically retarded, they sit you up front. Now, you're in the
wheelchair section.
You're in the wheelchair section. And so in your mind, you think that the wheelchair guy's up front because of the wheelchair, but no. The comedians tell them to put you up front so that they can see you, so they can make fun of your legs. That is what's going on.
Here's the thing, though, Jesse, because that used to maybe be a thing, but I feel right now there seems to be this theme where comedians are so cocked, they actually prop them up with some cookie cutter comments, but then they go, listen, actually, like the Shane Gillis special that everybody thought was so based because he said the word gay. Like literally, people, like all these stupid readers, oh my God, this is our guy. He said gay. But then he made like one cookie cutter Down syndrome joke, and it's like, hey, but listen, let's be real for a second here, bros, bros. Like Down syndrome people are actually mega cool. It's like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, shut the fuck up. Is this a PSA? So they don't even really make fun of them, even really. Like that, and that Matt Rife, he's like, listen, oh my God, I love the Mongoloids, and you're so cool. Like, what are you doing? Like, so it's not even like they put a Down syndrome retard in the front. They don't goof on him. They use it as like this like like a PSA about how we should all come together and how it's all cool.
You know when this shit started, actually, you know how this really started, the current incarnation of, because I agree with what you're saying. Josh Blue. Do you know who that is?
I don't know. No, I do not.
He's a retarded stand-up comedian. And I know that sounds like I'm repeating myself, but he's like I think he's got cerebral palsy or something. Like, he's one of these like.
All right, I have no time for that.
He sounds retarded. He is, looks retarded, but his mind is normal. Okay, it's aesthetic. He's aesthetically retarded. And he does stand up, and you got to sit there and wait 2 hours to get the joke out. And
God damn it!
I want to say over a decade ago, he got propped up real big, and everybody acted like they were a good person by pretending to laugh at his shitty jokes. We've done this, by the way. We've done this forever.
Look, I'll tell you this. Look, I'm going to be honest about this. Even in our circles, in sector circles, you have this Ricky Simpson guy. I don't want to see him. He's disgusting to me.
I don't know.
Get out of my face. That fucking that goblin guy that's on the floor.
Oh yeah, fuck that. I hate that.
Get the fuck out of here. Dude, I don't want to see him
Ricky
because
Simpson.
of his disability. I don't want to see it.
And
then you had that guy that died. Remember that guy too? That guy that died.
Crip Daddy.
Yeah, dude, fuck Crip Daddy. Fuck him.
I have friends that were friends with Crip Daddy in real life, and when they were all like crying over him and Twitter DMs and stuff, I'm sitting there going, "Thank God!
Thank God!
Finally, finally." By the way, taken too late, I would say on that one. What is it? Ricky Berwick is actually the guy's name.
Ricky Berwick. I said Ricky Simpson.
Ricky Simpson.
Ricky. Look, when you're retarded and you stand there and it's this self-deprecating thing and you create this fight where it's like, oh, look, you don't need to feel sorry for me.
You don't need to feel sorry for me. Look at me, I'm cool too, pussy.
It's like. I don't. This is not really what I came here for.
And
you know
listen,
what I'm saying?
I'll be honest with you. I can't laugh at any man in any capacity where I know after he's done doing fake self-deprecating, that you know
Yeah.
he's being wiped. If a man's being physically wiped, well, hang on a second. I'm not.
Yeah, I know. Okay, no, I understand. You weren't going there. I understand that.
I was not implying anything. by
No,
that.
no.
But what I'm
No.
saying is, I know, like when
Yeah,
I
you
see,
can't respect the guy that has his ass wiped and wears diapers and stuff. Is what you're saying?
what I'm saying is when I see Ricky Berwick,
Oh yeah,
like,
right,
by the
retard.
way, terrorize my timeline. That's like a terrorist bomb going off on my Twitter account. Well,
It's gore. I'd rather see an
is.
Indian guy get run over by a train, get decapitated. And
I
just
would
see a
like to see
picture of
that
him playing
1
video
million
games.
times, actually.
Yeah.
And not as opposed to anything, just I want to see it. But Ricky Berwick, I hate it so much. I don't understand him physically. Like when I look at him, it's like, you know, one of those mind puzzle optical illusions where I don't know where his head is coming out of his body. He does look like
a Francis Bacon abstract painting.
Yes.
You don't know where it begins or ends.
It's MC Escher stairs, but with arms and legs. He looks like he can retract himself into his torso, and it looks like it's in the middle of happening during every video.
Yes.
He's like crawling around going, ah! You know what I really hate? I hate publicly acceptable retards. And they don't even have to be physically horrifying in every way, an obvious monster mash man who shouldn't be allowed out of his house. Even with a guy like Review Bra. Do you know who Review Bra is?
Fuck, who's that? Oh, that's that 1950s guy.
He wears a suit and he eats Taco Bell and he says it's good.
All right, but at least he's not like an abomination to God. You know what I'm
Fuck him.
saying? Like
No,
he
he
at
is.
least.
No,
I don't have
is.
time for that shit. I don't watch that. But at least it's like
What makes these guys suck more than anything. Let's be real for a second. In reality, when I see Ricky Berwick, I feel nothing but pity and sympathy. And, you know, I wish somebody would step on him like a bug and make him go away to cure him of his final pains. But I truly feel terrible for him. What you really don't like about them is that everyone is pretending to like them.
Yeah.
And it's not even that they're pretending like they're cool with the fact that he looks like, you know, some sort of inverted mutant. It's well beyond that. I always say this, like, you know, people like to make fun of me and then reduce my show down to all I do is pick on retarded people. And of course, my response to that is yes, but I enjoy it. Yes. But here's the thing. I also pick on regular people. And the difference between me and you is I'm treating retarded people the same. When you're putting a gold star on a retard's forehead simply because he's a retard. And I know you think, no, Ricky Berwick really made me laugh. Crip Daddy was actually funny. Well, let me ask you this. Were his jokes funnier, or was the 15 minutes it took to lift his wheelchair onto the stage funnier? Because if you were having to stifle yourself during that, then we know what the real answer here is. We know what's really
Can I tell
going
you a
on.
story? This is a story from my childhood when I was about 10 years old. Okay. So this is about like equality, treating everybody the same, basically. So me and my friends would go into the supermarket, and they gave like a stalking job to like a Down syndrome girl. Okay?
Right.
Girl with Down syndrome. She was older than us. But she was severe Down syndrome. Is one of these things, and they let her stock the shelves. And we would go in there once in a while, and we would ask, the beer kegs. Could you get us? Could you get us one of the beer kegs? Because they had like big display beer kegs on the top of the shelf. And then she would have to go into the back to go get a giant, heavy beer keg. And as we saw her go into the back, we just left.
Nice. That's awesome, man.
That's a little story that reminded me.
That reminds me of when I was in high school and we had I was in a theater class. Okay.
Oh my god.
That I was forced to take. And my friend Michael was in the class too, who is like he's not a performer. He can barely talk. He's got a stutter, right? Like sometimes you just have to take these electives, and that was the easy one. And we had a girl in the class. The only reason it's important that it's theater is we had a girl in the class that was so mentally and physically retarded that the idea of putting her on a stage should be a crime. Like it should be a crime. You're doing something that is such a sick practical joke. We're like reading Shakespeare, and she's sitting there going,
oh god.
We're having to pretend like it's normal, like we're fine. And one time, my friend Michael did stick an out of order sign on her legs, and which she couldn't remove. She couldn't remove it, so she was just rolling around the school all day with this hilarious sign prank on her. Now, and again, people think that I'm like this evil, terrible guy to retarded people. I laughed really, really hard at that, but I felt terrible. I hated it. I legitimately, as funny as it is, I hated it. I would never do that myself, ever.
I did something really bad. This is really bad, and I'm really embarrassed about this. This is not good, and I don't even know. Did I ever told this on one of my streams? This is not good. You're gonna look at me differently after this.
Okay, nice.
Okay,
this is brutal honesty.
This is brutal. Some brutal honesty. I think I must have been like 19 years old or something. We were at like a music festival. And I think, so you have like a couple of different bands and stuff. Now, again, look, this is an excuse. I'm wasted, and I'm trying to make my friends laugh, okay? Right. Now, you have a stage that's elevated with all the wheelchair people, okay? Where all the
wheelchair Americans,
people are looking. Yeah, but then there was one guy, he needed to be one of the regular humans, and so he wheeled, and we used him, so him and his group of friends, they were pushing him through the crowd, and we kind of used that, like, similarly to when I'm stuck in traffic here and an ambulance comes, I quickly drive behind the ambulance. And get
yes, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But so then we did that, and then we were standing there. I'm like, oh, God, this is really bad, dude. Oh, fuck. Okay, so look, it's dark, and I think it was a Rammstein, actually, that was playing, or setting out, they were playing. And I don't know if you've ever been at a music festival, you're standing there, and when it's nighttime, if you duck down, nobody can see it. You're like in the darkness. You're like completely veiled in shadow, okay? Yeah. And I'm standing next to the wheelchair guy, and I duck down, and I deflated his wheelchair tires. I deflated the wheelchair tires. And then I got up, and I told my friends, who are maniacs, I'm like, dude, I deflated the tires. And they're like, what? The fuck are you doing, dude? I'm like,
what you do?
Oh shit, this is not funny.
They're just stuck there now. They just can't roll.
Yes, they had to probably wait.
You took a handicapped person and made their wheelchair handicapped.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I will say this is one of those things. One of my pranks that I think about that I'm not very proud of, but yeah, that was a really bad thing that I did. But I just felt like, who do you think you are, huh? You belong on the fucking handicapped stage. This is what you get.
Yeah, you've got it too good.
Yeah, what do you think? Get up there. What are you doing down here? You know, so I like to believe I taught him a valuable lesson, though.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think you did. Anyway, it all starts with Josh Blue. He was a comedian that everybody pretended like he was good. Yeah. And then at some point, stand-ups are all jealous of each other. They're all, when they see one guy get away with or do something, they all want to do it. Louis C.K. sold a special on his website for $5, and then they all started trying to do that. Louis C.K. said, I do a new hour every year. And they all started doing. It's like but you can't do that. They all try to do that stuff. So these guys,
in fact, they talk about it. They talk about it too in their podcast.
They say
oftentimes the topic of conversation is about. It is. They never use the word jealousy, but they're like a very jealous type of person.
Yes.
The comedian, it seems like. Yeah, very envious. But sorry, keep going.
So they all saw Josh Blue getting laughs and getting praise and love and claps for being a retard and went, what can I do? And some of them, by the way, I truly believe that some of them actually started going out on stage and pretending to be retarded in order to try to generate the same, like Theo Von. But the ones who weren't willing to go that far with it, they started bussing in retarded people to their shows so that they could get it by proxy. And that's why. And it's a thing that happens over and over. So yeah, they're probably, I bet you Big J's got a fucking retard of some kind inside one of these two specials.
Yeah. So I think
Look,
we sort of like...
He's got a black guy. Hang on, he's got a black guy, Sven. Can you believe this?
Oh, shit. Yeah, what is he going to talk about that guy?
I called it already. He's got a retarded guy.
Mentally challenged.
That's his wife. Nice. I see what's happening here.
A cuck joke. Okay. He saw a black guy. There happens to be a white person nearby. He's getting cucked by the black guy. That's it. That's by the way, this font is called Grave Blade.
Some heavy metal.
I know people have been waiting for the
people want our
chat.
font takes.
They want to know the font takes. I like Grave Blade's actually a good font, but in this scenario used like this is maybe one of the most retarded gay things I've ever seen in my entire life.
I think we broke your wife, dude. Did you know that she finds your stay-at-home fathering so hilarious?
Here's a big repeat one. There's a lot of stay-at-home fathers now. I don't know if it's a COVID thing or just gay guys or whatever, but there's a lot of them. And I have already seen so many comedians ragging on a dude in the audience doing crowd work with stay-at-home dads. That's a back pocket joke. He's ready to go for that one. There's no way he hasn't already run into that. And if he's caught, by the way, when they're calling it a special, if he's saying that this is a special, that means when they do specials, they practice that for like a year ahead of time. So that he's been doing a year of nothing but crowd work and only just filmed it. That's what's going on there. So he had, let's say he's doing shows probably every single weekend, right? He's doing at least.
Do you think it's one of these interspersed edited specials where like he's been filming this? And because imagine this, if you're going to do a crowd work special and you just go, okay, we're going to film it tonight, that's a huge risk. So this might be one of those interspliced specials where they just film on like 20 locations.
Let me throw another theory at you. This is a two-parter. I wonder, did they film, every stand-up special, they film it twice. And then they use the best takes from both and the best crowd reaction, biggest laughs. And I wonder, did they film two, realize you can't cut this together because it's two different crowds? You're seeing the crowds.
Yes.
And so they went, fuck, what do we do? I'm betting these are shorter specials, maybe 30 minutes. Typically you'd expect at least an hour. So these are going to be cut down to the absolute most salvageable parts of each. And then they
And how much of that can you take? Because first of all, Big Jay Oakerson, he has his manicured eyebrows.
Yeah.
He's sitting on a stool
Mersh
like
style.
a black guy, like Patrice. And he's like, oh yeah. How many black cocks have you sucked? Oh, and he's just doing this coy laughter. He's very aware of the cameras. He's very vain, this guy. By the way, Big Jay Oakerson thinks he's like a Johnny Depp style bohemian weird artist guy, but he looks like Static X. He looks out of touch and crazy. So it's completely misaligned. Yeah, can we just pull up like one of his crowdwork videos, just see what he does? Because I don't even think maybe people don't even know who this guy is. You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
They're not familiar.
I don't
because it's so cringe.
Would he have it on his YouTube
cringe.
channel? Let's
Probably,
see.
I would think.
I would
He
bet
never
shorts.
links it.
I'm gonna just take a wild guess. Oh yeah, here we go. Check it out. I just went to his shorts because shorts are always crowd work. All shorts are crowd work. And look at this.
In his case, it should be called jorts.
Dude.
Thank you. There you go.
Fuck. Holy
Thank you so much.
Sven. Wow.
Yeah, thank you
All
so
right.
much. Thank you.
Big J.
Let's play
He
one
should
of
have
these
named
guys.
his special that. Big J.
Jorts.
Oakerson. Jorts.
Yeah.
It's never been tried. So you can see right here, the crowd is in the thumbnails. This guy looks like he's wearing a yarmulke. We're going to click on this one.
You guys are married? You said for a long time, right? Oh, yeah. Pretty new. You're divorced.
Is this the special? This is a different. Wait, what? 2 times? Is this the special? Because if this is the special, it's being like, this is it. I'm seeing it already. No special.
Wait, how long is this?
I mean, no, it's only 48 seconds. I'm saying, is this from the special?
Oh, like that. Okay. I can't see the timeline.
You said for a long time, right? Oh, yeah. Pretty new. You're divorced. Widower. Nice. And you did it again, huh? Widower. Twice a widow? Shut up. Damn, dude. You lay that dick down good. That's that circumcised.
By the way, that's the same as a female comedian going, my pussy, my vagina, like just instantly going to sex. It had nothing to do with sex. Come on.
Yeah,
all
it's
he does
different.
is goes all about sex.
That's the only thing on his mind. He's looking at that crowd. This is the scariest part, Sven. You go to a Big J Oakerson show, he's doing crowd work. He's looking at the crowd going, yeah, I'd fuck him, I'd fuck him, I'd fuck her, I'd fuck this guy, or whatever that is, that kid over there.
Let me tell you. I have a thing I've mentioned this in my show before. There is a thing he did just to showcase his depravity and his degeneracy. Okay, he came up with a radio bit one time on the original Bonfire,
right?
Where he went like this, and you tell me if this makes sense. Okay, he says, hey fans, what about you guys send in your own sex tapes? Okay, we won't show it on the air, and we get to guess what movie is playing in the background. That was his radio bit idea. And even you could even tell like Dan Soder's like, oh yeah, that's a good, like, let's not do that. And he kept pushing it, okay, and it failed. Only like 2 crazy juggalos send in like their sex tape.
So,
that's a sick, depraved.
It's assuming a lot that not only does somebody have a sex tape, that they're willing to share it, and also that they happen to have been watching a movie at the time. I mean, me personally, I can hit pause.
So he wants people to record themselves fucking while a movie plays as a radio bit, and who the fuck is gonna do that? Like, no, it's ridiculous.
It's like that's like when the big fat guy from Nickelodeon was like, send in pictures of your feet as a joke for Nickelodeon.
Schneider.
Yeah, Dan Snyder.
Like yeah,
Dan Snyder. He was like, it's like, you know,
Schneiderberg.
We Nickelodeon's logo's afoot. That's why. I swear. I don't know.
Right. Doesn't have that protective coating over it to protect your cervix from being blasted apart by his giant Jewish knob. It's thick like a fucking one of those Torah fucking sides. Like a big old fucking rolling pin. So,
here's another thing, actually. It just occurred to me. You know, I'm looking at this guy. He's got the yarmulke on, right? He's like, might as well just be wearing a Target. He's got a yarmulke on and a bright yellow shirt. You can see how well lit he is. All right, so people might not realize, if you're not, television savvy, you might not know this, but let's say you go to a game show or you go to one of those like daytime talk shows or something, right? If you seem like an interesting person, they are going to put you up front. They have a dedicated team of people standing at the doorway when they're letting people in, trying to find attractive people, interesting people, people who, maybe have a good, like an obvious personality and stuff. Depending on the show, sometimes they don't want the personality people and they're being herded to the back. I've been on these shows. I've been I've been, I've seen the fruits of these labors up close. Like you go to, what is that show? The Price is Right. They're literally bringing the contestants. The whole point you're going there is to try to get on the show. The contestants come from the audience. Well, they're watching them in the line beforehand to try to see who's good. It's not random. They're not picking someone out of the crowd at random. They pre-screened them without those people knowing. If this dude is filming this special that's all for crowd work, it's like magicians do this too, by the way. Magicians will get, somebody to pre-screen people in the crowd. They think they're just talking to somebody else who's going to go see the show. Then the magician gets fed all the info they gave that guy. Then that guy gets to go on stage and he's like, "You're from Iowa, right?" And the guy's like, "What?
Yeah.
How the hell did you know that?" So
it gets even worse than that. Like I knew a couple of chicks that worked for modeling agencies and marketing firms. When you have like a televised like concert or something, they'll hire like chicks to stand in front. They'll, to have like the pan shots of the audience and shit like that.
Right.
It's like complete plants. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So he's probably got people who are like, he's told them, "Hey, you see a fucking Jew, put him up front. I got tons of. I'm a Jew. I'll do a ton of Jew jokes. You see some. Hey, the one black guy who showed up. You know where he sits, right? He better be directly in front of me. Get the brightest spotlight you can put on this guy. It's just so obvious. You don't just happen to have a guy sitting right in front of you wearing a yarmulke. That's just not possible. Okay. That's a target. That's a target. It's not just a target on his head for a Palestinian either.
Circumcised dicks are the way to play it. Am I right, ladies? Even if you hate Jews, you hope the guy who's hating them with you.
Am I right, ladies? No one says anything. They're not on board. This was not a good short. This wasn't a good jort. You probably shouldn't have uploaded this, man. This stinks.
Oopsie.
Has a circumcised dick.
You like the way he talks like this, and then he just kind of goes this.
Yikes.
I'm just joshing with you.
So he just always sits down. He's sitting down on all of these.
That's very Patrice-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like black, suave nigga.
I mean, I get that you're a big fat guy, but come on. You can't stand up for 20 minutes while you do your dumb little bit. What is, let's see. Let's go to...
I couldn't even imagine going to one of these, just sitting there watching him do this. Like, it's kind of cocked almost.
Interracial couple, nice. White guy, black woman, rare.
Sven, white guy, black... This is exactly what we said.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, guys.
I mean, it's all right. We don't even have to fucking watch this. That's it. You get it now. That's it. That's all the proof you
these
need.
Are the tropes. These are all the tropes. You could have an AI do this basically.
Can we do this? Can we watch? There was an update to Natalie Cuomo. I saw this posted by Royce. Do you know Royce?
He's like the second half of the Nightwave crew.
Yeah, he's the other part of Revenge of the Cis. He's a known gay sexual cuck, by the way. Brutal honesty. He's a known gay sexual cuck. He posted this.
That's real?
Oh, yeah. He used to follow a gay porn account on Twitter openly that followed him back. Mm-hmm. There's even some speculation that it was his account. We'll talk about it on a future episode. Anyway, Royce Lopez on Twitter, folks. He bought 30,000 Twitter followers. He just bought them, and then that worked, and then he got 30,000 more that are, real. So he says this Natalie Cuomo broad is not funny enough to try and give herself a redemption arc, looking like the wall at a tattoo place in Daytona. Okay. So let's see what happened here. Somebody, I don't know if of course she filmed this. Of course.
Is this the same set where she had to crash out? Or
No,
is this
this is following up. She's referencing it in this one. This is a big follow-up.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, check this out.
Anyone see me have a meltdown recently online? Okay, yeah, so don't fuck with me. Actually, please don't fuck with me.
So the whole crowd is there because they saw how much of a
Her
fucking
viral video.
loser she is. They're basically hoping she messes up at this point. I mean,
Maybe we should explain real quick for new listeners that what happened. This woman had a complete crash out. She didn't know how to handle a heckler, and she, in an unfunny way, just completely started scolding the guy and just getting mad at him.
she demanded the man look her in the eyes. And you know,
Yeah, it was completely embarrassing display.
I've got a clip of my coverage of it on the YouTube channel if you want to check it out. You know, I made the point. She got the dude's friend's phone from him, and he was being texted by the guy after the guy got kicked out. So she kicks out the guy because he was too funny. And from the parking lot, he's sending bangers owning her. She got pwned. She got pwned at her own show. It was insane. I don't remember what he said specifically, but it like annihilated her. And the entire time, it's a 15-minute clip, and she doesn't say one joke in the entire thing. And meanwhile, just random audience
She's
guy
having a meltdown.
killing her. So yeah, complete meltdown. This is her attempting to redeem herself here. Now, I love the idea though that people showed up like, oh, it's the girl who fucking sucks. We saw her on Twitter. She stinks. Maybe I can yell and she'll say something to me. I'll have to look her in the eyes. By the way, this was sent to me. We were all making fun of her for being flat. We said you're not funny enough to have this little titty. And then somebody was like, she's got nudes, and they sent them to me, and she's not flat at all, really. In fact, she has titty, but it looks like she's been wearing a.
Oh, let's pull them up. Let's do some constructive commentary.
Let me show you. She's got a big bowl of piss in front of her.
I'm sure your YouTube channel will be safe.
She's got this big bowl of piss in front of her. I think it'll be all right. No, here's what happened though. She's got hangers basically. She's got big ones. It looks like she's been wearing a Jay Oakerson they style breast binder.
Oh, she doesn't want to be objectified.
They technically are flat. We were right. She's flat, but
like
not in the way you think. Yeah, tea bags.
Yeah, I actually have the same agent as Kanye, and they only got one of us. So.
I mean, this is.
Yeah.
This is
right here.
This is tough. This is really tough. Look at the little looks on her face here. Well, check this out. This little look on her face. She's really, really struggling. This ruined her life. She can't look at the crowd, by the way. You know what this is reminding me of? I had this science teacher I talked about on the show called Mr. Kilboic, who, when he would talk to us as kids, he would look up at the ceiling like he was nervous to be speaking to us the entire time.
Oh my God.
And then it turned out he was a complete fucking pedophile. Yeah, he got in big trouble for fucking his own daughter. So that's probably why. So probably a similar thing happened to her, and that's why she ended up with these terrible tattoos.
It's just so.
All right, so completely different clip. This has been edited together. Completely different clip.
Ironic that I went viral for saying "look me in the eyes" when my husband's autistic. I'm getting
Are you autistic too? Because she's still looking at that ceiling.
death threats online. Okay,
She's getting death threat. Now, this is what they all love doing this, don't they? They love saying that people are threatening to kill them. And it's never true. You can't find a death threat. People saying that you stink as a comedian and you should be homeless, that's not a death threat. Okay? You should be forced to live outside because you're not funny. Listen, if you can, I don't know, maybe you know how to pump gas or something. That's fine. Then you don't have to live outside. But as long as your profession is trying to be funny, you're an outdoors person now.
Like, all these guys are saying they want to finish me. I am used to men saying they want to finish on me.
Okay, can we see the death threads? You know what I'm saying? Just you fucking liar, man.
If that was true, bring them on stage, read them.
Yeah, show us.
Show us.
Yeah.
How good would that be? That would be fucking watchable. Wouldn't you want to see her standing there holding reams of paper of death threats because of how much she fucking sucked? By the way, hey, Natalie, look me in the eyes. Natalie, I'm down here. My tits are down here, Natalie. Look me in the eyes. Fuck, man. My vagina.
What the fuck is she looking at?
She ended it with a my vagina joke.
Guys are saying they want to finish me. I am used to men saying they want to finish on me.
It's always sex. It's always sex. That's all they've got. She's like hoping to God. You know, here's the thing. She knows she can't win in the comedy marketplace. So she's hoping like hell she could probably, you know, get back to the sexual marketplace. It's all she's got going for her at this point. And then again, but she doesn't, because I saw her.
You're saying
titties.
there were like leaked nudes? Is that from her OnlyFans?
No.
She really seems.
These were not leaked nudes. These were like she did a photo shoot specifically to be a naked tattoo lady.
Yeah, there you go.
You know. So anyway, yeah, comedy sucks. Everything sucks.
Comedy sucks.
Comedy sucks. It fucking sucks. Comedy sucks. And stand-up comedy has sucked for 20 years. It's not even close. Stand-up comedy has been shit. It's been shit the whole fucking time.
Even the AstroTurf stuff that they told us was great, like Carlin and stuff like that. It's the worst fucking garbage there is. And then it got a little bit of a peak during COVID because people had nothing else to watch. Everybody started doing their podcasts, and it's just such an overly saturated thing right now. Like, people are sick of it. They're just sick of it.
Yeah, they
fucked themselves basically.
There was a comedy boom back in the 80s, and there was a little bit of one, you know, a few years back, and now we're just in the biggest comedy boom ever, and it's been the least amount of comedy to ever come out of something called a comedy boom. I you know, the thing that killed comedy, in my estimation, obviously podcasts don't help. And so I tend to draw everything back to that. The thing that really ended it was the show What the Fuck with Mark Maron. When you, back in the day, you know, nobody even listens to podcasts as a podcast anymore. If you're not on YouTube, it's like you're a done. I don't even know why I bother putting out an audio only version of this at this point. But
yeah, you could just stop doing that, honestly. Just stop.
Is really no point. I don't even look at the numbers. I have no idea if anyone's even actually listening to it at this point. But it used to be, and it wasn't that long ago that the audio version of Podawful was like listened to way more. I'm talking even when I had almost 11,000 subs on YouTube.
It's like iPod days or something like that.
No, I'm talking like 5 years ago. Like
really?
5 years ago, it was thousands and thousands and thousands of downloads per episode. And I mean, tens of thousands at least per episode. And I'm a nobody show. Nobody's ever heard of me. That's pretty fucking good. And, the views on YouTube were like pretty good too, but it was way more people. I don't even remember the numbers at this point. I had 6 million downloads, not one more, not one less. I know that. We don't want to question the numbers too much, or else, all the narrative starts falling apart here. But
sure, it's not like more like 200,000 or something.
I'm pretty sure it was exactly 6 million. In fact, it might.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
Listen, I mean, there was a Soviet podcast app that tried to delete a lot of information, and I can't be sure on everything, but 6 million seems about right. I don't know, 6 million one. That's too many, obviously.
Yeah, I would not dare question that narrative. Obviously, seems completely airtight to me.
Of course. Well, airtight isn't really the word you want to use for it. Actually, it turns out there was a.
I don't want to. I wasn't referring to the smokestacks or anything.
I had a wooden RSS feed, and it didn't really hold a lot of. So
it opened. Okay, that's mine.
Yeah, it doesn't. We don't have to really go down this route anymore. The point is, podcasts, when they were like really, really big, which is, I think, as an actual podcast, it's fallen off massively for just about everybody. But What the Fuck with Mark Maron, that show started either the week before or the week after Podawful. Like, it started it's the same year, I'm pretty sure. And the problem with it is, back when you used to listen to and find podcasts on things like iTunes and shit like that, they've got categories. They've got categories on YouTube, but they're meaningless. You can't even look stuff up by them. I don't even know what the fucking point of it is. Why do I even have to put one? But on podcasts, I only wanted to listen to comedy podcasts. I didn't want, and I don't have an interest in anything else, right? And so I would be searching the iTunes top 200 comedy podcasts to find something to listen to. And What the Fuck with Mark Maron was listed as a comedy podcast. And I assume he did that because he's a comedian. But unfortunately, what happened was his podcast became like the biggest one at the time. And
it's like depression talk constantly.
Forget that. It's business talk. It's the business of comedy.
I got you. I see where you're going. Yeah.
It's just talking about how do you get into the comedy industry? What was it like for you coming up as a comedian? And they never.
How's the green room in this club?
Right.
How are you flying over to Poughkeepsie? All this fucking shit.
And
they still do that a lot, yeah.
You would think you put two comedians in a room and they're talking about, what they do together, that they'd be able to zhuzh that up a little bit and have some laughs. Maybe one of them would throw in a fun little barb here or there. But again, stand-up comedians are terrible off the cuff. They have no improv skill whatsoever. They're not funny. They're not radio people. They're not improv people. They're not crowd work people. Okay? That's a skill in itself. So this What the Fuck with Mark Maron thing, all these comedians saw because they're jealous freaks, saw his success, Joe Rogan's success, the first few big name comedians who kind of broke through in podcasting. They all were aping off of What the Fuck. It was all interviews about the business of show and not actually trying to be funny. To the point, it was so bad, and I recognized it so early on that within the first year of Podawful, I was advertising the show as being actually funny. Like being like the entire selling point for me was, I said the original tagline was, which is such a shitty one, but it was, I was literally just making fun of What the Fuck. It was, we will make you laugh. We might make you think. Because all of these podcasts were trying to make you
pontificating.
Think. Yes. Ooh, so many
industry.
So much thoughts. Oh my gosh. Imagine the thoughts of a guy with a wallet chain. So
but don't you think they've caught up to that criticism basically? Because I feel like sometimes they'll get into it and they'll stop themselves on these podcasts nowadays. We're like, okay, people are not interested in this.
There are,
and I feel like maybe in a similar way, maybe they've caught up to the criticism of like, oh my God, this is all just pre-rehearsed shit. This stand-up comedy, and now they're gonna going into this crowd work stuff. It seems like a slowly declining medium in a way.
Well, you're sort of right. It is. They are doing the crowd work because people now know that it's this pre-rehearsed. You know, when Dave Chappelle goes on stage, he pretends like, and they all do this, but he's the most obvious. He pretends like he's never said these words before, to the point where he takes
slaps his little knee.
Microphone with the knee. He slaps the knee with the microphone every time. And it's like, but you're doing that at the same point in the same set every night. That's embarrassing. You know what's really happened is people are going to these shows, they're sneaking in cell phones, they're recording it, and the comedy, a live comedy show, specifically stand-up, is a magic trick. Making someone laugh is pulling off a magic trick. It is surprising them in a way where they
have specific cues. Like it's basically a cue when he taps his upper leg with the. It's like a cue. Give me a reaction.
That's an applause sign. You might as well just have the sign above you saying "laugh" that lights up at the end of every fucking punchline. It's embarrassing.
It really is embarrassing.
So imagine, your trick has been exposed. It's like when that masked magician did Magic Secrets Exposed, and all the magicians had to be like, "Fuck, we can't saw women anymore. What do we do? We get
they should. You know what would be a good thing if actually one of these comedians did that masked magician thing, but for comedy.
Yeah,
reveal all the tricks, and that would actually reinvigorate it at the end of the day.
Well, that's what a lot of Podawful has been. This Magic Secrets Exposed, but
but somebody needs to go on stage. It would be like a TV show, and they go, "Look, here's the trick. Look, I'm gonna make him laugh right here." You know what I'm saying? So that would be
interesting. But what they did, because they don't have the skill or talent to pivot in a way where they just get funnier and get better and are able to come up with more stuff. Instead, what they did was like, well, I guess we're improvisers now, but we can't be seen as part of a troupe because then we're gay, because then we're theater kids, and that's gay, and we're cool because we get paid in alcohol. So these stand-ups have it in their head that they're rock stars. Like that, it's like common trope. It's old fucking hat, but they think
I've heard them say this on podcasts. It might have been actually Big GAY Oakerson where he was talking about it's actually such a bad idea to take your girl out to like a first date to a comedy show because it's like, hey, how can you ever stack up to like the comedian on the stage? You know what I'm saying? And I believe his producer, which is his wife, went, "Hey, you guys are like rock stars."
Yeah,
it's like, holy shit, what do you guys think? Like, this is not accurate self-image you guys have going on.
The sad thing is that women are so shitty that there is some truth. There are groupies for stand-ups. They're called gag hags.
Sure.
That is a thing, but obviously it's nowhere near the level it is for like a real rock star. Even the biggest, handsomest stand-up comedian, whoever that is, isn't fucking pulling it like that. It's not even close. I mean, maybe Chris D'Elia, but you have to be a certain age for that to be the case. It's a lot easier. Listen, if you're shooting for 11-year-olds, then it's probably like fish in a barrel for him, but everybody else is having a tougher time. I don't know.
I also think another thing that happened with comedy as well is that they were such cucked pussies. We were talking about earlier, where you ought to be on the edge and you should talk about controversial topics that are not on the predefined kosher plantation, let's say. They weren't doing it. They were all afraid. You could even see like South Park fall into that. They didn't even really know what they were satirizing anymore because they were too afraid to actually satirize. People sort of even forgot how strict it was just a couple of years ago. You know what I'm saying? If you were making fun of a gay guy, you'd lose your bank account. You know what I'm saying? And comedians knew this. And what you start to see is that the comedy sphere, it all became this juvenile, jackassy sex stuff. You know what I'm saying? Rather than commenting on like certain cultural phenomenons happening or certain power structure of that. And I'm not saying you have to be a George Carlin, but all that subject matter fell by the wayside out of fear of cancellation. And then they pivoted into like, you have like footage of like Louis J. Gomez sucking a dildo. They're kissing each other, spitting into each other's mouths. Like Robbie Lee taking his pants off, showing his open asshole. Like it became this sex, degenerate, jackassy type of stuff.
Yeah, they're ironically, that's jokes, Sven.
Yeah,
that's what a joke
funny.
Yeah.
Two guys kissing, spitting into each other's ass. Oh, Big J shoved a plastic gun up his ass. Oh, fun stuff. Man.
I mean, listen, I'll be honest. I think that stuff can be funny, but you're right in that it was a crutch. It was it took precedent.
It was a crutch.
Yeah,
yes.
It was a crutch.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything else.
And they were too afraid. afraid to talk about. Like, look, it was rife. The culture was rife for critique,
Matt Rife.
and none of that happened. Matt Rife for critique. Yeah,
I
none of
think
that happened.
you know, the other sad thing about this Jay Oakerson them they thing too is like, you know, I was making fun of Chappelle a second ago, but he was talking trans shit while it was still dangerous to do. He did.
Big J?
No, Chappelle, Dave Chappelle.
Oh, Chappelle. Yeah. Look. I'll give him that, but to me, it wasn't harsh enough. It was nearly. It was still bitch made to me.
By the end of it, he was saying like, I actually became a friend with a trans person, and it's like, okay, yeah.
Similar to like Shane, what is his name? Shane Gillis. You know, he'll make fun of somebody with Down syndrome, but then there's a 15-minute PSA about how great they are and how we need to all be friends and get along.
Yeah, he did do that with it, but you know, of course, like 5 different comedy specials, and every single one of them at least contained a portion of it was just making fun of trans people when that was absolutely not okay. And
I'll give him that.
And he did, well, even more so, he did it on Netflix, and they allowed it, which was crazy. And they only were going to do that with him. And only because they'd already paid him millions.
Remember the cultural outcry, the like cancellations that happened back then. And by the way, the jokes. What was the jokes? Like the T's and the Q's, they look like the T's, and the Q's and the L's, they like the Bell. It's like it was just such fucking. We really lived in a crazy sensorial time, if you think about it, because that was such pussy shit. Even like that was not really breaking any real boundaries. Like you'd see edgier memes on Twitter, like 10 times edgier back then. You know
all the stuff he had done.
Yeah, sure.
All the stuff he had done in there, like me and every other podcast had already made those jokes, like you know, for 2 years before. I remember like a year after the Jussie Smollett thing. He does those Jussie Smollett jokes, and he says, I call him Juicy. It's like, I literally did that on Podawful the day of that happening.
Yeah.
I was like, because
there you go. That's another way how does medium fail. Like big or Jim Norton, you know? He does like Bill Cosby jokes about Bill Cosby's rape charges 2 years after that was in the news.
And SNL has that problem too. It's like, you can't beat the internet on time. So what you have to say better be the funniest thing ever if you're going to be if you're going to be talking about quote unquote topical stuff. You're already too late unless you're doing it on the internet, and it's got to be the funniest because 50,000 dudes got to it before you. You better
you better not play it safe, and you better tackle the taboo. And break through it bravely, and not like kind of pussyfoot around it like a little bitch. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not going to work at all.
Occasionally, South Park can pull that off. You know what's so crazy about South Park too is they went to this new model of like just doing a random special every once in a while. They're doing specials now too, and the thing that made South Park amazing is that it's not a good animation. But because it was so shittily done,
the quick turnaround
they
time.
could do it in 6 days. And so it did what no other cartoon had ever done before it, which is comment on stuff the same week it happened. Like to in the internet age, take that formula, which is a winning fucking formula that still nobody else has pulled off, to take that and throw it away in the time where everyone is capable of making the joke before you is insanity. Like those COVID specials and stuff on South Park are some of the most embarrassing things ever, because it's like you're too late and there's nothing you can do to make up for that. All of that shit was just so bad. You're
correct. You're absolutely right. But there's another level to that where they were too afraid to. So look, their big critique on like the whole LGBTQ child mutilation HRT stuff was PC principle, whatever.
Right.
And then you had and they were satirizing Trump, but then Mr. Garrison, the transsexual teacher, becomes Trump, and it's just this completely muddled messaging. You don't even really know what they're satirizing here because they want to keep it in the middle too much, and it's just like super confused messaging, and the jokes just fall flat. You know what I'm saying? It was just that was the worst era, and it was purely because they lost their bravery. And they were just too afraid to be canceled themselves.
In fairness to them, I think part of the problem is also that it is actually the thing that you and I were talking about earlier, that the problem we have, which is that we just can't do anything other than what we care about. And,
Sure.
you know, they got bored of their show, which I fucking get. And they started to try to breathe some new life into it. They started doing that thing where they had continuity between the episodes, right?
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
Things carried over. And the thing that led to was that Tegrity Farms shit and the weed
That whole
subplot.
arc.
That, I mean, you can't even call it an arc anymore. It's in every episode now. They're still doing it every time they release one. That Lizzo one they did, which was, by the way, the Lizzo one was pretty funny. I
haven't watched it.
It was way too
years,
late, but they managed to make it pretty funny. I remember actually having some laughs at South Park for a change. But the worst part of it every time is that they're digging their heels in on this fucking weed farm subplot they've got going on.
That's still going on? The weed farm is still going on?
Still going on. And,
dude.
you know, they've got all this time in between that they could have a reason for it to not, if they want to really, I don't hate the continuity. A lot of people hate the continuity. I liked it. I actually did something similar with Podawful around the same time where I was bored and went, I'm going to try to make like episodes, you know, connect in some way, which is like a lot weirder on a podcast, but
I don't even know how that would function, but sure, yeah. That's
you know, I mean, a lot of shows will cover a thing and then do a follow up the next episode. The format of my show is I talk about a singular thing, and so there's rarely ever follow up. But I would find ways to tie the thing from the last episode into the new one, things like that. It's just, you know, trying to combine these things. It's a little Seinfeldian. It's a little improv guy-y, but it's what I know and what I like. And so I fully got it. I fully liked that aspect of it, that they were trying to do something like that. There were stakes and things carried over and there were running gags. But what you're saying is true, that they kind of got scared of going for it. And one of the things that they chose to do that had continuity was Mr. Garrison being Trump and being the president. And it's like, they didn't want to do it anymore. They hated it. They hated that they had done it. And so what do? And now they've got, now South Park exists in a world where they have to avoid the president, like entirely. They just can't bring it up because otherwise they have to remember that it's Mr. Garrison in orange face and how cringe that is.
It just doesn't make any sense, man. Yeah, they're fucked. They fucked themselves.
They
wrote
really
themselves
did.
into a corner, basically.
They really did. But maybe that's a good thing. You know, you don't want to be The Simpsons. You don't want to be still going 40 years later and it's just everybody, you know, they can't do the voices anymore on South Park. They're not even as old. Like, if you listen to modern day South Park, it does not sound like the characters, which is crazy because the whole way they did those voices was by speeding it up. Yeah, they just pitched it up.
Yeah, just some tempo pitch. Yeah.
So if your voice, when you get older, your voice gets lower. That makes sense. Just pitch it up a little bit more. I don't get it. I don't know why they're not just correcting for this, but you know, it's probably just time to hang up the Spurs either way on it. You know, nothing, or just do something new or change it completely.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I certainly the things they've thrown out are all the incredible good ones, and the things they've kept are all the worst things. And I don't know what it is that mentally you have to go through as a creator for that to be what happens.
Yeah.
But
Again, I think it's based on a culture of fear. I haven't seen any of the new ones, so I can't really comment on that. I really dropped off during that whole arc with the integrity farm shit.
Right. I did too. There's entire seasons I've never seen, but my wife will watch the specials that come out, and then I see them. Do you?
Well,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I said, would you recommend watching the specials or no?
The most recent one I think was pretty funny. I laughed, but not most of them. No. Any of the ones.
You know what's funnier than South Park, by the way? Americaman.
And by the way, look at this. Watch this. Boop. Ladies and gentlemen, I was ready. Americaman. Follow at Americaman_hero on Twitter. You know what's funny about this, Sven? I kept seeing this on my timeline, and I didn't know. Really? I didn't know it was you. And
there you go. I've heard that from other people, by the way.
By the way, you already got This has existed for a month. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Already almost
started like mid-January.
Almost 5,000 followers. It's only been a month. That's pretty good. I looked at this and I went, "Who the fuck is this dude copying Sven's art style?" I swear to God, I didn't follow it for 3 weeks because I thought it was someone like ripping you off. I'm not joking. And I was like, well, how does this keep showing up in my timeline? And I was like, I see this right here and I go, that's Sven. I just know. Like I can tell. Actually, this guy, the green man here.
Yeah.
I see that and I'm like,
broccoli boy.
The broccoli guy. I see him and I'm like, that's Sven. I can just tell instantly. And I swear to God, I had no idea you were doing this. So I thought for sure somebody was like stealing. I was like, who decided to do, Sven mixed with Stone Toss? And then when I found out it was Sven, I was like, oh, okay, then that's fine. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But explain to the folks Americaman.
No, that's good though. I know that you have like an eye for that type of stuff, so that's kind of cool to hear that you could immediately recognize. I had some other people say that to me too. One of them was Stone Toss, by the way. Stone Toss was talking to me, going like, "What the fuck? I didn't know Europeans were funny." He said something like that. But yeah, they saw that stuff. But look, for me, it's good to hear that you're seeing it on your timeline because it seems like right now.
Oh God! Oh God! I should not have showed that. I'm about to get my channel taken down. Oh my God! No,
that's fine.
Sven! No, there's nudity. You're drawing naked cartoons. No, Sven! What have you done? Is this a setup? Was this whole thing a setup?
You're not going to get a copyright strike for that one.
Well, that's true. Yeah, they probably won't notice. Oh my
God! It's
just
it's a drawn nipple. I think you can show it like a drawn tit.
They're like, fucking and everything. I don't know, man. Listen,
where are we in Saudi Arabia?
Well, I got in trouble for a censored movie clip. So yeah,
but not a drawing. You can pull up an old comic with a tit in it. Right?
I'm gonna stay here right now to be safe, but
that's it. Or just go to the media tab and maybe go to one of the earlier ones. That's the only nudity one that we have, the tit one.
Okay.
Somebody actually suggested you should cover it up, but I was like, what are we, fucking?
Wait, somebody knew it was coming. Oh God, you didn't even warn me. All right.
I didn't know about that one.
How did this?
Okay, look, I'll warn you right now. There is black children getting chopped up by lawnmowers.
I'm going to show that one. It's Black History Month. I'm going to show this one. But
show that one. Yeah, there you go.
Well, all right. What made you start this though? I know this is kind of part of the theming of Butch Killigan as well, but. What happened?
Yeah, well, look, it's different in a sense. Whereas Butch Killigan is actually like an artistic pursuit and storytelling, and is going to have like a big, interesting action story type thing with some deeper themes.
Yeah,
this is just straight up propaganda. You know what I'm saying? This is political propaganda. But it's funny, it's funny propaganda, which is the best propaganda. And the reason why I'm doing it, this is like. It started like a year ago. I bought the Americaman.com domain name.
Okay.
And since then, because I made that purchase, it was in my head. I'm like, I need to do something with this, right?
Do you do that too, where you just buy random domains and don't even know what you're doing with them?
Dude, that's the first thing I'll do when I have an idea. I'll buy a domain.
Yep. I own some.
I'm spending thousands of dollars on domains a month for no reason.
I own some wild domains. Like some. Can I tell you one of my? Don't be mad, okay? Because I bought this. I bought this with an idea in mind for a prank, but I own.
Okay.
You know Pornhub.com?
I am familiar.
Okay. I own childpornhub.com.
Oh my God.
Now, you know,
yeah, you're not going to get many bids on that one.
You know, well, here's the thing. If the election had gone another way, I could be a millionaire.
Oh, yeah.
I had the idea. I had the idea. I was like, I could buy that domain. Like, so it came up in a conversation in Discord. I made the joke, or somebody said, I don't remember. And I was like, holy shit.
Pornhub.com.
Yeah,
that's fucking ridiculous.
Well, because Pornhub literally has fucking child porn on it. It's like sex trafficking, right?
Yeah.
So
I think they even censor that. Like the fact that they even let you buy that is kind of nuts.
Dude, not only did I, of course, I thought the same thing. Not only did they let me buy it, I bought, you know where I bought it off of? GoDaddy.
Oh, nice.
GoDaddy let me. It's not Namecheap or GoDaddy, the biggest site, let me buy that shit. Dude. Insane. And by the way, I use GoDaddy for not all of my domains, but I use it for some of my other ones. I was having a problem with a domain at one point, and I had to call GoDaddy, and they were looking at my account and saw that I own childpornhub.com. It was horrifying. They're like going through my domain names. I'm like, no. You don't understand. It's a joke. But I wanted to satirize. I wanted to make fun of Pornhub for being a child porn site, basically. And so I thought, wouldn't it be funny if I buy that domain and we clone what if we clone the Pornhub page? Obviously, you don't put any fucking thing on there, but you clone the Pornhub page and you just change the logo to say Child Pornhub. And then I was going to go onto Twitter and be like, look at this. It's been discovered. Breaking news. Conservative Patriots, Q. We need you guys on this. Pornhub has bought childpornhub.com. And I was trying to get like boomer MAGA guys to freak out thinking that this was like a real thing. And then I was going to have every single thing on the page link back to podawful.com so that you would know that it was a joke. Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? I probably shouldn't try to post childpornhub.com to Twitter. So now I just own this domain, and I didn't know what to do with it.
I mean, that's hilarious.
So I pointed it.
Let's come up with some ideas for this project. I bought one during COVID. I got one. I had this project idea. I'm never going to do it now because it doesn't function anymore because we're no longer in lockdown.
Yeah.
I was in the process of making a super realistic do-it-yourself sexual reassignment surgery.
Nice. Okay?
So because everybody was in lockdown and it was going to be mega realistic and it was going to be like with at-home do-it-yourself products where you could basically chop your own dick off and make it into a vagina, with at-home appliances. But I actually got a surgeon guy that I knew. I forget who the fuck this was, but explained to me, what if you actually had to do this? Like, what would you have to do?
What would the steps
and we made
be?
like a whole trailer with like professional logos and shit like that. And the logo was like a Jewish star made out of like surgical scissors. and I buy a do-it-yourself sexsurgery.com.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I never had because I wanted to encourage people to chop their own cock off during COVID.
Around the same time, I was considering selling fake bathtub hormones to trans people. Like specifically saying it's bathtub hormones. And it's just water, just willing to ship them like a container of water in the mail. But then I was like, I don't know how to actually ship anything. That would suck.
Hormones.
You can buy your bathtub hormones at childpornhub.com. A real website that I own. By the way, go to childpornhub.com. Go there right now. Find out. I'm telling everybody in the audience, go there right now and see what's there. It'll shock you.
I'm not typing that in, but you guys feel free.
I own all sorts of crazy domains that like shit that I don't even know what it's for. Like I think I own.
I literally when I go through my domain, I was like, "What is this idea?" I don't even fucking remember what the fuck any of that was about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've got like
no clue. It's just so wasted.
I have hypercube.zone. I don't know what that fucking means. Sounds cool though, right? And then I got moneyworldabortion.biz, which is like, what? What is that?
What the fuck is this?
And then I have this is actually a good one. I don't know what to do with it, but I do have urbanmoving.systems. You know what urban moving systems is?
What is that again?
That was the company that the dancing Israelis were working for.
Oh, all right.
Urban moving systems. So I have urbanmoving.systems. That's a good one. But it's fun to find out that Americaman is literally just from a silly purchase.
That's what it was. Because can you believe that America? Look, if you want to make, I wanted to make a satire on American culture, obviously,
Right.
and I wanted to tie it with like superhero comic. It's a comic, so of course it's superhero stuff. I was like, he needs to be the most American guy, right? So right now you have Captain America, obviously owned by Marvel. It's like, what about Americaman? What the fuck? This is available? And basically nowadays, if you have the .com, it's your IP. You know
Of
what I'm saying?
course.
So I bought the site's not up yet,
like
but
Child
I have
Pornhub
American.
is my IP.
That's yours. You own the rights to every child porno MP4 that's out there. It's basically, you have the right to distribute that, all of that stuff. Look, there probably is some kind of Israeli rabbi that will buy that from you.
I'm waiting. I know it's going to come. One day someone's going to come knocking
One
for
day
that
it
one.
will. You're sitting on a gold mine there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a scary, scary day. I will be a millionaire from buying that at some point. I swear to God. It's going to be. And there's going to be a part of me where I'm going to feel kind of bad for selling it to them, knowing what they're going to do with it, but kind of.
What are you gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? You earned that money fair and square,
Exactly.
I think, with your foresight, your conscientious foresight into the situation.
One of the most dicey domain squats of all time.
Yeah. Oh my God. Do you have anything that would make money? You think I need to look into my things, but I usually don't do stuff like that. I just get like a weird, like artistic idea, like similar to you, but it's not like I'm squatting things to make money off, really.
I'm trying to think. I have so many, I don't even remember them all. I used to own faggot.army.
I know what's so. This is so funny.
I know it's the rules.
Faggot.army.
I'm so mad I let that one lapse. That was a good one.
Man.
And then, I think I still own freemason.gay, which is a pretty good one.
Wait, .gay?
.gay is yes, you can get .gay. That is a real one. I don't know if I still do, but I know I owned at some point revengeofthecis.lgbt, which I then just pointed to their website and claimed that was their that's how you get to their thing. Just trying to convince people that they're just gay guys.
Oh man,
yeah,
that's some cute trolling stuff. Yeah, I was talking about I watched the stream you did yesterday where you were like goofing on Mersh.
Yeah,
and by the way, remember that I did. Somebody clipped that. I think it was one of you guys that clipped that, and I can't find it anymore. Where I was talking about Mersh, comparing him to Max Payne, and I was like this down on his luck guy that's like boozing it up,
right,
shaving his head and stuff like that. I can't find that clip anywhere, so somebody please send me that. But he's one of my favorite characters like that. And then his car is getting repoed. He's completely down his luck. He's an addict. He's just completely disheveled. And then the only thing he has left is like to escape his life is like he plays video games, which I think is ill-advised when you're in this much trouble to waste time in Rust or whatever it is called, like some survival game. And then for the people in my audience that don't know this, they went into his game and they grieved. They destroyed all the things he's worked for, and they They entombed him into his little house. To me, it's just so pathetic that the guy like Mersh, like poor dude, like he's like building a little house.
That's the most fun I've ever had in a video game.
And then you guys destroyed his fun.
Mersh is literally fighting to survive in real life. He has so little money, and then he goes to video games and he picks a survival game where it's literally you have to like eat to stay alive and shit.
Yeah, you shouldn't be emulating survival as an escapist method. You should be doing it for real.
Yeah, maybe try it once.
Yeah, that's like if you're a hoarder, you're gonna play like clean up your apartment simulator all day.
Right.
It's like, how about you do it for real?
Mersh should maybe consider actually finding a big rock and smashing stuff around his neighborhood with it to see what sort of elements he can gain from it. See if he could maybe sell some bismuth to somebody or something. I don't know. I don't play video games, but goddamn, trolling Mersh and Rust was so fucking funny and so fun. And I do, by the way,
every game should have mechanics like that where you can just break. I remember I played DayZ a little bit when that came out. You could like chop up people's friends and force feed their flesh to them and they'd get sick.
Right.
Like, why is not every game like that? You could tie up a player, like another guy's like, oh, what the fuck, man, don't do this. And you'd shoot his other friend, chop him up into pieces, and force feed him the meat. Like, yeah, okay, if every game's like this, I'm down, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, I had when I was younger, I had an older friend, this guy, and this is back when I still played video game. I know that sounds like a terrible setup, but hang with me here. I used to play games a little bit still at this point, but not really. But I didn't hate them at that point. And then this guy said to me, this is a dude, he's got a wife, he's got a job and stuff. And he says to me, you know what? I don't want to play a game. He's like, how about this? Call me when I can play a video game, and at any point in the game, I can take a crap in a hat. And I was like, what? And he was like, I don't want to play it unless I can just do anything. And his marker for being able to do anything was shitting into his own baseball cap for some reason. And so every time I see,
very creative.
And I said to him, like, well, like, Grand Theft Auto, you can kind of run around and you can beat a guy up with a dildo. He's like, nah, crap in a hat. If I can't take a shit in the video game, it's not worth it to me. And he didn't mean like as a mechanic. It shouldn't be a thing where you need to stop off at the bathroom every once in a while or you'll die or shit yourself or something. You can just do it. You can just do it. And
I think in Postal 2, you can whip your cock out and piss in people's faces.
You can, so that's pretty close. But when I look at video games, I can't. Ever since then, all I can think is, yeah, but you can't shit in a fucking hat. It like ruined video games for me when he told me that. But he was 100% right.
Yeah. I don't play many video games either anymore because it feels like such a time sink. You know what I'm saying? And look, I talked about this really. I'll mention it briefly there. People are against this idea of like weaving in NFTs and crypto into like video games. I think that's a great idea because imagine if you're like in GTA 6, you're robbing a bank and it's just not some meaningless digit, but you're actually earning like money that has real life value. That raises the stakes, you know what I'm saying? And you can rob a guy for real cash. That seems exciting to me, so I don't understand why people are against.
You think Mersh was playing too many video games before? Wait until you could earn money playing video games.
Yes. Yeah, imagine he can gamble real money in Red Dead 2, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's going to be all he's going to be doing.
That would be amazing to steal money from him by entombing him in his video game home in the future. That
like real money with real consequences.
I 100% do have designs, though, to keep fucking with him in Rust. I came up with something crazy to do to him in Rust that I think
we need his reaction. That's what's missing because I was looking forward to like his reaction.
I know
that's what needs.
We're gonna have to like sneak it by and know for a fact he's going to be on again soon.
But does he stream it? Does he stream that game or something?
He usually does stream it. I think he got tipped off that something was happening in the Rust thing, and so that's why he didn't stream it. So unfortunately, we didn't get the reaction. I mean, we sort of did get the reaction though. Because he had a big baby freak out. He could not get out of the tomb. And then he murdered the other player multiple times and built bone knives. So, we kind of know what happened, even if we didn't see it. But yeah, obviously we wanted the reaction.
Poor dude.
Yeah, stinks.
Poor Mersh.
Poor
We love
Mersh.
him.
But we will
love
be
him, though.
bullying him and beating him up in a game. And if he goes to a new game, we will be following him to that game. I'm getting into gaming. This is Podawful gaming. Just following
Well,
Mersh
if that's
around.
what gaming is, I'm getting into it too.
Yes.
But by the way, Jess, is it okay if I head out of here?
Yeah,
'Cause
let's.
I need to take
Yeah,
a big,
no, I
fat,
want
hot piss.
I want to wrap up
and I have
anyway.
no more cigarettes.
Americaman, Twitter. Is there?
Yeah,
You
go
have a
check that
website.
out.
You have a website for Americaman.com.
Wait, websites? No, that's not up yet. But you
Oh.
just go to Twitter, X, @AmericanMan_hero.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah.
Sven streams.
Just follow
YouTube.
me. Sven streams. Find me.
Subscribe to Sven streams. He lost his YouTube channel, guys. We support people when this happens to them. We support our friends. Okay. Thank you, Sven.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jesse. I enjoyed my time. We got to do it again sometime. Thank you
All
so
right.
much, my Ann.
I love
Peace.
you. Mwah. My best friend Sven, everybody. Yeah, please do go follow him. Why can't I get rid of this? What the heck? What is happening? Oh no. This is just stuck. Okay. I don't know what's going on there. Oh boy. I'm just gonna quit Discord. All right. Anyway, please do support Sven's shit. That's why I had him on the show, is to help him out with that. There are people, they're probably thinking to themselves, Jesse, didn't Sven kind of snake you last time? And he talked shit about you on his stream immediately after. It was all a big misunderstanding. We talked about it. Everything was fine. It's all a big misunderstanding. I said to Sven before the show, I'll even read it to you here, because I don't think this is telling any tales out of school, this part right here. I said, because he made this big deal. We've been joking about it ever since. He made this big deal about that he doesn't like drama, right? He says, I don't like drama. But then he kind of made a drama happen by talking shit about me on his stream. Oh my God. I have to scroll so much to find what I said to him. Let me see here. And by the way, I want to be clear about something. There were no topics off limits here. If I wanted to, we could have talked about Red Bar, or we don't care. Like, neither one of us care. I know I saw the people in the chat asking and freaking out and mentioning and referencing and stuff. We just don't care. Okay. I said to him this. I said, I'm going to try to avoid talking about shit you don't like talking about, meaning drama. Okay. He made this big deal about drama, but then I saw, he was talking about drama stuff. So I said, but honestly, whatever drama is makes no fucking sense, and you are retarded. So I'm just winging the show. And he said, no, it's fine. You can just address whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. I said, okay, I just know you said before you don't like drama. And I've heard you say you don't care about comedian stuff. But then I've also seen you covering Jim Norton. So I have no idea how the minefield of your mind works. But we cleared it all up. Everything is fine. Ladies and gentlemen, Sven, it was a fun talk. It was a fun, nice, easy, slop tent filled talk. And we're going to go over to the Pizza Fund and do a pod after show. I probably should have touched on this a little bit during the episode here to kind of connect, but I have a big follow-up that we can only do in the Pizza Fund to an episode from a few weeks back. I don't remember. I think this was actually a Pizza Fund only episode. But it was a primo episode. The primo episode we did about Fish Tank, I went over Desmond is amazing. Okay. Desmond is amazing. He was a child drag queen that obviously some very horrifying things that Sven would be very upset about happened to. Desmond is amazing. If childpornhub.com was owned by anyone other than me, he'd be the star of it. I had a very bad run-in with Desmond is Amazing's mom on Twitter, where she actually got my tweets taken down by DMCAing them. Well, we placed a call to Desmond is Amazing's mom, and I'd like to do a follow-up to that tonight. because I have text messages and calls from Desmond's mom here in my inbox. Wait, I don't know. No way. Is there a voicemail? No. I have text messages. I have text messages from Desmond's mom, and this shit is really, really funny. So join us over in the Pizza Fund, podawful.pizza, $6 level and up. Get immediate access to that. We'll be live in the Pizza Fund in just a few minutes after the show. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, have an awful day.
I'm a killer gorilla.